for everyone in that side of the world when they say it's interchangeable with Israel. Many of these people, including
do you think he's like Anne Frank?
What?
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
Oh, of course, absolutely. Of course I do. I think that talking to, but my
Anne
point
Frank,
that I was
Frank is
presenting-
famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite a boss that took every member of her family but her dad. That's why she's inspiring. This guy went on Twitter and said,
Would you think Anne Frank would be less inspiring if she somehow was able to get out?
if she was like, I want to kill Germans, and yeah.
Okay. One of the other things that you've consistently done, aside from also the dude that you claimed was my fan, who now you admit wasn't my fan, that you falsely slept. You falsely said was my fan.
Jiminy cricket.
Okay. Was the usage of the term inbred. I use inbred as a what?
Because I have that. Because I knew you were going to do this, and I have the clip pulled. Let's play it, and then you can
play it. The KKK brigades out there, just a bunch of inbred hicks. Imagine the most inbred white supremacist guy you can imagine. Okay, every week there was another fucking psychopathic settler in bag.
This is gonna be like the I'm gonna concede that all we do over here is find new slurs to use because our old slurs have been deemed unacceptable by the majority. I swear most of these people, if it wasn't for like social pushback or whatever, they'd say retard too. I don't believe that people really care about this. I really don't.
Dude. A nation entirely comprised of messianic...
This is gonna sound like Augie explaining why he uses gay as a pejorative.
In ultra-orthodox psychopaths that these inbred don't understand. Educated, inbred, fundamentalist hicks.
Calling us in the middle of campus, calling us inbred, that we have no culture. One of them grabbed my friend's Israeli flag in the middle of campus, carried it to a mob by the gate that were communicating with the angry mobs outside of campus.
Untrained...
Yeah, go ahead and defend your continual use of the word inbred to describe Jewish people. Go on.
Wait, do you think
All right, so I don't think that he used it on Jewish people every single time, right? That's not easily demonstrated by the clip.
Describing all Jewish people as inbred? Is that what your assessment is here?
No, he's saying that you use it to describe Jewish people, not all Jewish people, but you use inbred to describe Jewish people.
Microaggressions, my friend. We're pretending they don't exist. You continually refer to Jewish people as inbred.
You are such a pussy. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Of course I'm calling the fucking Kahanist Jewish supremacist settlers inbred. Why is it that you tried to defend the actual Kahanist settlers that were destroying humanitarian aid when I was calling them fucking inbred? You were like, oh, why? They're just nice young Jewish boys, you said.
So can I call them the N-word? Would that be better? Why the fuck would you defend these fucking settlers who are like fucking killing people, dude? No, dude, I called them the hard R, bro. It's like fine, right?
Describing that fucking video.
Did you? So again, Hasan, you have a chronic problem.
No, dude, I was just calling them the hard R. I don't know what the problem. Why are you fucking defending them, dude?
The truth. Here's what you're talking about.
Douchebags in the background,
these are just dudes. By the way, this is the difference between me and Hasan. When I get criticized,
it's it's completely irrelevant as to what they did. That's not the issue.
I pull it up and I watch the fucking criticism. Hasan opens Comrade KC tweets and snark posts and
dude, how many rapes do you need to commit before I can call you the N-word? It has nothing to do with like the origins of the N-word, but how many rapes until you become indefensible for me calling you the hard R?
Reads their interpretation of my video. Talk about being a pussy.
At exactly 3, once you hit number 4, then I can call you the N-word.
People to hold your hands. Fucking be real.
Or like the F slur. How about that? Let me change slurs so you know I'm not talking about black people. How many times do you have to like kill somebody or whatever? Like how many families do you need to blow up before I can call you an F slur?
You'll hear.
Yeah, I'm so scared of you. That's why I wanted to debate you.
And this is an ongoing like joke with this community. These are just fucking benign dudes. Just I don't know what the fuck they're doing. It looks like they're doing charity or something. It looks like they've got water or boxes or something, like they're helping. And he's going, oh, look at these inbred fucks. It's like, bro, who are you? What are you? By the way, even if they're doing whatever bad, you're still calling Jewish people inbred repeatedly. You understand that, right? Rubs off on
people. They're fucking Nazis, even. What's wrong with you?
You can call Hitler the N-word, dude. But this is like you know what's funny is, have you guys ever watched the Kill Stream? You probably haven't. This is like a older, I mean, I don't know if I think Ralph still calls it that, right? Basically what they would do is every time somebody came on, they would hit them with like an awkward question. And they're like, would you call a pedophile the N-word? And they're like, what? No, why would I? As you say, he's a fucking pedophile, man. He fucks kids. Would you call a pedophile the N-word? And then we're like, wait, what? It's like, what are you talking about?
They're participating single-handedly in a genocide.
Continually to Jewish people as inbred, bro. You don't think that can affect people?
I call
the Randbog. I think, yeah, you call pedophile the N-word, mate.
All racist right-wing reactionaries inbred.
Who the fuck? He actually, dude. You know what's funny? You can find this clip. He did it to Onision. Onision's like, would you call a pedophile the N-word? He's like, no. And it's like Onision, like crazy schizo Onision. He's like, no, I probably wouldn't do that.
It's one of the fucking terms that I can use that isn't like immediately
How about one that doesn't feed into like an anti-Semitic trope? Why did you laugh when that guy said that people were calling them inbred on campus? Why was that funny?
What do you mean? Because it's a fucking crybaby claiming that he was a victim
he was
of
walking
harassment.
through campus.
What?
He was walking through campus. How's he a crybaby?
No, he's a crybaby for going on Fox to be like, I was under attack. I was victimized once again.
What was the bully aspect?
What do you mean? When someone
to be a crybaby, there needs to be a bully aspect. Where's the bully aspect?
Have you literally left your goddamn Bel Air mansion for a second and looked at the news?
Bro, there's no way this guy just said Bel Air mansion, dude. There's actually no way Hasan fucking extremely expensive car, extremely expensive house, literal fucking socialist just pulled the Bel Air mansion line.
Do you know what's going on? An entire year of genocide side by side with people claiming that Jews are being
champagne socialist fucking Hasan just came out here, dude.
Victimized on college campuses has now led to the fucking Gestapo literally packing up pro-Palestinian student activists. You don't think that those fucking dipshits played a role in that on Fox News of all places? What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course you're not pro-Palestine. This is the reason why nobody thinks you're pro-Palestine, okay? Because you do this dumb shit. Because you can't fucking see the world outside of how you feel slighted by.
People think I'm pro-Palestine because I don't like your repeated use of the word inbred against Jews?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're running defense for kahanists who are literally...
I'm not defending
How is this running defense for that? But like the stuff he said about Hezbollah isn't supporting terrorism. I'm so fucking...
I'm attacking you. How is me saying why
you are fucking crying about me calling Nazis inbred in the process of them destroying humanitarian aid, going into Gaza, and then you're going, they look like kind boys.
Yeah, I took it back immediately.
They look like nice boys that were just holding the humanitarian aid. How do you assume that
I literally took it back immediately?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I admit I was wrong and took it back immediately when I learned the context. Do you know how that works?
Oh my God, there's a lot more. Do you want to keep going?
Have you
piece by piece?
No, it's fucking boring.
I mean, I feel like it's an optics L to keep fighting this argument for Ethan. I would say it's probably like, at this point, we could probably move on, right? Next topic.
Now it's boring.
Because you're a chronic liar. I went back.
Maybe I wasn't afraid of the context nuke. Okay?
I went back.
Maybe I wasn't afraid of it, but I was worried that you were going to fucking clip shit out of context and keep chirping to your audience and lie to them. And now you can't lie to them. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, half of the fucking shit that we've talked about,
here, let's do this.
Yeah, I don't think he's earned that shot. That's the only issue I'm seeing here. It's just like, he's saying that, but the stuff that he has said doesn't really scream accurate.
Maybe that's the reason why people think you're fucking pro-Israel at a time when you say that they're doing a genocide.
You said that the Houthi Luffy was not a pirate.
Okay, Houthi pirate time, boys. We're moving on up. New topic.
He's not.
All right, sorry, not Houthi affiliated.
Now keep in mind, he has literally called him a Houthi. It's like the sword again. He's not a Houthi, dude. What's your source? It's you calling him a Houthi.
But even if he was, I wouldn't care. I hope you understand that.
Because that's rewriting history.
I'm going to say this very clearly.
No, it's not that you cared. It's that you fucking glazed him up. I'm going to say this very clearly to you right now. 10 toes down. Are you ready for this? Go ahead.
I believe what the Houthis are doing in terms of stopping Israel doing a genocide to implement a blockade on the Red Sea is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down. They are on the morally right side. Don't you also think they're on the morally right side?
What have they done?
You're supposed to. Hold on. You're saying that it's a genocide.
What have they done?
What the fuck are they supposed to do?
They hijacked a boat that had nothing to do with Israel? Like fucking
That's
bravo.
Not true. That's not true.
Really? What was that? What did it have to do with Israel?
It was literally owned by an Israeli.
It was partially owned. It's a big multi-conglomerate company that was partially owned by an Israeli.
Yes.
It was bound for fucking for Turkey from.
It's like so crazy. I mean, people were making such a huge deal about the fact that like the hostages were released by the time the video was like posted, when it was probably written before that. But that's not an excuse to get things wrong or whatever. But it's like they were also gone for almost a full calendar year. Like they were just fucking hostages for a full calendar year, and they're not even like Israeli.
India.
What do you mean? Partially owned.
They kidnapped 5 totally unrelated Filipino fucking prisoners and kept them prisoners for a year.
In your fucking video. Are you going to take that back too now? Now you admit that you were wrong on that part too?
I didn't hear you.
What are we on, 4?
Admitting you were wrong? I think that's like, we've known that.
5?
That by the time the video was posted, they were no longer hostages.
many points have you actually backtracked?
I don't know.
They had just been released after being gone for like almost a full year.
What? I don't know what you're accusing me of. What was I wrong about?
You said in your video that it had nothing to do with Israel. You claimed that it wasn't owned by an Israeli guy? You were wrong.
Partially owned by an Israeli guy? It's British owned. It's owned by a British company.
It's an Israeli
conglomerate. It's owned by a British company.
Ship.
So it's owned by a British company.
You literally claimed that it was owned by Isle of Man. It was an Isle of Man ship.
It is.
Like you think all of these ships mysteriously are just owned by that, and it's not a fucking easy flag to get.
How much of this? So if this Jewish or this Israeli guy
0.5.
Thank you.
This Israeli guy, how much does he need to own of this business that owns this boat to justify? Is it 0.1? Is it 0.2? Is it 5%? How much?
I don't know, and I don't care because I think that
he doesn't even know the percentage. That's crazy. Holy shit. And I'm just wondering, are they like do these things have like license plates on it? Are they like researching the boats that they're hijacking before they get on it?
Even if they got some of the ships wrong, I still think they're on the right side.
Oh, okay. Even if it had nothing to do with fucking Israeli fucking citizens or Israel at all, they're on the right side of history for hijacking innocent civilians.
Don't you?
I mean,
no, I don't think that. He has 0.05 ownership. Fair game. Yeah.
I agree with their...
I'm not even conceding on that front, by the way, because I do think that, once again...
Even if they got the wrong ships, goes so crazy.
That was owned by an Israeli conglomerate.
No, it wasn't. That's an outright lie. You're lying. It's not owned by an Israeli conglomerate. You're fucking lying. That's an outright pathetic lie. And you're basically running defense for a terrorist organization. Now, do I defend what they do? I think what they're doing, their message is good. Their method is terrible.
Oh, wait, dude, let's ring up the fucking Houthi family real quick. Tell us how you would stop a genocide when you're the poorest country.
Well, not hijacking an unaffiliated boat and kidnapping 15 fucking nationals and holding them for a year. How is that helping anyone?
Dude, they did a bad thing. Oh, yeah? Can you tell them how to do it better? It's like, how would that make the thing they did already not bad? Like, what I'm sorry, what are you doing to help them? Oh, you've done creators for Palestine and you watch like a bunch of bad empanada videos. Fight the good fight on Twitch, my guy. Good shit, dude.
That's another thing that you actually
If Rogan gets banned, another child starves tonight.
Wrong, by the way, that even fucking Willie Sloptube called you out on. Those people, by the time you had released your context puke, those people had been released.
It was, I remember. I said they were prisoners for a year. I know they were released.
And by the way, shout out to Willie Sloptube, dude.
It literally happened like...
He's so fucking mad. He watches every single video in this community.
The day I was finishing the video.
It's just, you couldn't.
They were held prisoner for a year.
Either that or he psychologically tortures people and forces them to watch our content so he knows how to respond to it.
They held prisoner for a year? Were they held prisoner for a year? Were they held prisoner for a year?
Yeah, they were.
That's what I said. Thank you.
Yeah, they were held hostage.
So how's that help Israel? Taking a bunch of Filipino fucking unaffiliated sailors hostage for a year?
Of deterrence?
Well, how's that deter Israel?
Deterrent, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Attacking civilians is deterrent. Okay, great. Sick.
Awesome. Kidnapping fucking
Do you understand the concept of deterrence?
Yes. How is that a deterrence?
Dude, they probably are so passionate about them being integral parts or whatever to the fucking anti-Palestinian genocide machine. They're probably so happy to be part of it.
It is a show of force to stop successfully, mind you, to stop other commercial shipping from going through.
What force do they have? Like, they're outgunned. They don't have the same level of technology. Their biggest targets were rave women. What show of force do you have? It's a bluff. It's a glass cannon. They can invade a boat of people who are unrelated to Israel. Who, I don't know. What
really bankrupted an entire Israeli port.
Yeah, it's a show of force. What they do, they punched a toddler in the jaw. Okay. Well, that's a lot of force they've got there.
I'd say that's numbers on the fucking board.
Walked into the preschool and punched a kid square in the face.
Baby. And like I said, 10 toes down, support that initiative. Because if you believe it's a genocide, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Should they allow their coastline?
They should absolutely invade other countries' boats. Yeah, that's a good point.
To continue having commerce as though nothing.
Yeah, dude. The Palestinians are punching chairs with Mike from PA as a show of force.
What's going on up there in Palestine, where Israel is doing a genocide in Palestine? How do you think the Yemeni population should have responded to the Israeli genocide? Should they have sat back and just let it happen?
Not Houthi, by the way.
And also, they can't say, obviously, they fucking can't say from the river to the sea.
I legitimately think this is what he thinks about the rapes, too. He hasn't said that explicitly or whatever, but he's describing this a non-lethal situation in such a crazy fucking way. I legitimately believe he thinks this about the rapes, too.
Because that scares you, Ethan. So obviously they can't do that either. So
Scares, I mean, it's what Norman Finkelstein.
It's just a show of. It's just a show of aggression. You know, it's just a show of fucking.
People be pro-Palestine in a way that you think is appropriate.
Where your example is hijacking an unaffiliated ship and kidnapping 15 sailors.
Not unaffiliated. It's not unaffiliated. But even if it was unaffiliated,
even if it was unaffiliated, so we don't even have to navigate with that fucking framework. He thinks that kidnapping an unaffiliated Israeli, a non-Israeli ship as a show of power.
I said already. If it was unaffiliated, that wasn't unaffiliated. You lied about that, and you recognize that you lied about that for the record. Okay. But if it was,
people can look into it.
It wasn't, even if it,
why did they didn't even kidnap random people? That's like terrorist shit. Why are they kidnapping random unaffiliated sailors? How are you defending
Ethan,
that?
You know what's
You're defending them kidnapping these unrelated foreign sailors?
You know what's terrorist shit? Israel fucking blowing up a humanitarian aid
when did I defend that?
1,002. No, I'm not saying you're defending that. I'm just explaining.
Oh, you're just fucking grandstanding. You're just morally grandstanding because you can't actually engage with the point.
What actual terrorism looks like.
Well, you are defending
Israel,
terrorism,
as of this conversation taking place, Israel last night literally drone striked a fucking humanitarian aid ship that was headed for Gaza off the coastline of Malta.
Whoever just said that in the chat, him defending this part is all we need. Yeah, it's like one of those situations where he could have caught Ethan on like a optics L, or not even an optics L, just a misreporting thing. And instead he kneeled into it and he's just like, even if that was the case, it's still based. I totally still would do it.
That's real fucking terrorism. What the Houthis are doing, on the other hand, is resistance. And it's not only moral, but it's just.
Very good. You're right. You're so righteous.
It's not even moral. It's just to fucking invade and just hijack ships. Holy fuck, dude. This guy is a monster. This is a monster.
Do you think that the Filipino...
He's just to fucking hijack innocent fucking...
hostages who were held there for a year agree that that was an awesome, an awesome act of resistance? Probably not. Right?
Probably not. Can you explain to me what you would do? What would you do?
I think, well, first of all, I think that like there's something to be said for stopping the cargo in that strait, but they're doing it insanely fucking stupid. They're stopping unaffiliated ships and they're kidnapping unaffiliated people. How is that good? They're doing it bad.
It's not an unaffiliated ship, by the way. But even then,
you won't explain how it's affiliated. You said it's owned by an Israeli conglomerate. That is an outright lie. Hold on, you're doing disinformation right now. It was not owned by an Israeli conglomerate. You said that. Yes, it was a lie. Galaxy Leader is a vehicle carrier that was owned by a British company, operated by a company connected. It was connected. It wasn't even. He didn't even own it. He was connected to an Israeli businessman. It was.
They'd line us up against a wall in a heartbeat. Oh fuck yeah, dude! Absolutely. If there was any doubt to that, I think it's been completely demolished.
It was co-owned by a business that this Israeli guy was involved in.
Yeah, co-owned by Abraham Ungar.
So what? You know his name.
What do you mean? It's co-owned by an Israeli. What are we talking about?
No, it's co-owned by a company that has an Israeli dude affiliated.
Wait, that's what he meant? Is that guy? Hold on.
With it.
Well, you asked me how it's
owned by a British company.
You asked me how it's connected. I'm telling you how it's connected.
Well, you're lying.
And now you don't like that connection.
No, you're lying.
Wait, but what is that guy's connection to Israel? Is he just a Jew? Like he's just an Israeli guy? Like it's co-owned by some guy who is Israeli?
Lying. That's what I don't like.
I'm not lying. The ship info is readily available, Ethan.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter anyway. The problem for me, really, it doesn't.
So, like, is this an Italian stream? This is a stream owned by Italians? Wait, what?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well,
okay,
so
that's
the
number 5 that you also presented falsely on your context view.
The problem is more the kidnapped sailors. I just don't understand you can justify kidnapping a bunch of unaffiliated sailors.
He works for the company. The company isn't... I don't know. I don't understand what he's trying to argue. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I don't... Ethan?
You are. You go. Ethan? Have you ever heard of deterrent?
Yeah, walk with me through this carefully.
Yeah, please explain to me how it's justifiable to kidnap 15 sailors. What would you do?
Ethan, what would you do? You have a better way to do it, I think. We're going to figure it out.
Well, like I said, you can do it without kidnapping unaffiliated holding them for a year.
There were militancy, resistance, okay, that cut off supply lines, okay? Supply lines for...
I know what you can do. Oh, I'm gonna button out on this one. You could fight the soldiers. You could not rape the civilians. You could fight the soldiers. And you could not hijack, I guess, loosely affiliated ships. Probably that would be... Yeah, you can clap back that way. I don't know.
Nazis, or even sometimes supply lines that actually impacted the civilians, okay? Impact the civilians. Do you feel like that kind of resistance was unwarranted?
It's completely irrelevant. Why did they hold them for a year?
I don't know.
Okay, because they're terrorists.
What? Because they're terrorists?
Yeah, they're terrorists. They kidnap innocent civilians.
Are they? So
the Filipino guys
the people that are resisting against the Israeli genocide that you call a genocide are actually terrorists because you don't agree with
kidnapping
their
innocents
fucking methods. But you have no way. You
kidnapping
have
innocents.
no alternative. You
agree with their methods? What are we talking about here? This is so jarring. I'm not really ready for this because I didn't think he's gonna like try to steelman this argument.
have no alternative.
That's not true. I said just don't kidnap innocent people.
Nothing else.
It's easy. Just don't kidnap innocent people. They could have done that, right? They could have taken the boat. They could have commandeered the boat and not kidnapped people, right? Oh, is that possible?
Okay, fair. Do you think that warrants the standard of saying that one of the only groups that is doing militancy against and resisting against Israel's genocide, which they stopped, by the way, they literally stopped when Israel actually followed through on a ceasefire. If they were just, erroneously and randomly fucking trying to claim ships because they're pirates, they want to live the pirate life, then obviously they wouldn't have stopped doing that, don't you think? And they only started. There
was a question here, and I think it got lost mid-sentence, but yes, the answer is they are terrorists. I don't know if you're ever going to get to it, but yeah, I would absolutely call them terrorists for that.
Started their blockade after Israel started starving Gaza again, and then
that's
also
great.
Turned
he is just like, yes, the answer is I would call them terrorists.
What does that do with innocent sailors?
Ethan, I don't think you want to go down this route.
I'm ready. What do you mean?
Innocent people is terrorism. What? Is Israel terrorist? Is the IDF terrorist?
I mean, you could characterize it that way.
Is the IDF terrorist?
I mean, it's an army, so it's a different thing. It's like
why is it a different thing? You think the Ansarullah movement doesn't have a standing army? They have an army.
The Houthis did like a hostile takeover of like a portion of Yemen. They're at odds with the government. It's different. They also own slaves, by the way.
We're going to talk about the Ansarullah movement's history.
I'll say yeah. Israel. The IDF is terrorist. Yes, the IDF is terrorism.
Hold on. Talk to me about how the Ansarullah movement actually came to power without getting any notes from your Discord or anything like that. Explain to me the process in which Ansarullah actually came to power.
I don't know.
What?
I do not know.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, you should try saying that sometimes.
Because in your video, you also used a lot of Saudi outlets to be like, these guys are actually doing slavery.
Give me one.
It turned out that actually,
give me the Saudi outlets.
The videos that you used did not even suggest that it was Ansarullah that was doing slavery in the fucking poorest country on the planet. Okay?
The Houthis have slaves. That's not even contested.
They weren't the ones who were doing the slavery, according to your own fucking video, but you still used it.
The Houthis have slaves, undisputed.
Propaganda papers that at a time when Saudi Arabia was doing a fucking genocide.
Having slaves and kidnapping innocents. It's just so unnecessary.
What are you talking about?
Just acknowledge that they do terrible shit.
The Saudi-backed government was the one that was actually doing slavery.
No, well, if they did, then the Houthis also have slaves. That's just a statement of fact.
No, the Houthis don't have shit. Okay,
they don't have shit. They don't have slaves. They don't even have slaves. They don't even have food. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not.
Again, this is over my head. I have no idea who's accurate here at all whatsoever.
The point I'm making. They are the poorest country on the planet that just came out of a
and how's that blockade, by the way, helping the country?
Saudi Arabia
how is the blockade helping the famine in Yemen? How's the blockade helping the famine in Yemen?
Well, they have a KFC now, so they're okay.
As far as I understand, there's no longer a famine in Yemen. I'm talking about before, because you talked about how you were a regional expert.
What is blockading doing for the poorest country on earth?
Ansarullah and their violent takeover of Yemen. So I was like trying to figure out what you know about this. Maybe you know something that I don't know. So I was trying to pick your brain a little bit.
So explain to me why it matters.
It seems like you don't know shit.
Sure, I don't know about this specific thing. Tell me why it matters.
Why it matters? What their blockade?
Yeah, clearly.
Dude, oh my, I can't. I literally fucking can't. Okay, yeah, I have no idea what that is. Can you explain why it matters? What? Wait, what? I didn't think I was going to get this far. What? Huh?
Their blockade is... Oh, their blockade is awesome.
Why it matters how they came to power.
Oh, because you used Saudi newspapers in the time when Saudi Arabia, according to Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, all fucking NGOs, was doing a Western-backed blockade that was killing hundreds of thousands of people, and the headlines that you used in your context were from Al Arabiya and numerous other outlets that had their own personal investment in vilifying the Ansarullah movement. Having said that, of course, I also think that there are plenty to criticize about the Ansarullah movement. I don't agree with everything that they're
no evidence for this at all whatsoever. Yeah,
fucking doing, as I've said time and time again.
He's just reading spoon-fed talking points. I mean, at this point, I think it's pretty clear that this was not the conversation he was expecting.
And like their banner, right? Their banner says "First the Jews," which you also presented in your video. Except, remember when you talked about Norm Finkelstein and how Norm Finkelstein doesn't agree with "From the River to the Sea"?
I remember that. That was today. I remember. Oh, I remember Norm Finkelstein. I remember.
Kidnapping civilians.
Can we play the clip of Norm Finkelstein talking about the curse the Jews and how what he thinks about that? Let's do that. Let's pull up the clip of Norm Finkelstein's thoughts.
How is that relevant?
These actions and the blockade against these. You used him as a primary source earlier because you thought, he's a reputable guy, which I think I agree.
He said something that I've said that I've been criticized for. What does that have to do with every other take he's taken? It doesn't mean that I support that. Like we're aligned with.
You've shown a clip. That means you subscribe to every single thing that has ever been said by this person ever, no matter what, with absolute certainty.
Every other take in the world.
Dan, can you play this clip real quick? Sorry, is it 50 seconds?
It's irrelevant.
I passed it along.
It's totally irrelevant.
What do you mean it's irrelevant?
Because who gives a fuck what he said about it?
Wait, what do you mean?
You want to talk about...
Here, listen. You used his perspective on From the River to the Sea.
I'm late to the stream. Is Content Deputy today or tomorrow? It already happened. You got to scroll back.
Imply that he agrees with you.
About 2 hours into the stream, we pulled it up.
I want to see if you agree with him on this. Just play it.
All right, I'll play it.
Thank you.
So here, I'm going to play it, okay? And then when this is done, let's move on to something I know we both want to talk about.
Thank you for hitting the goal.
You claimed, I'm going to play it. I just want to set this up. You claimed that the worst thing I said in the context, puke, is that I wrongfully portrayed Jewish people fleeing from their countries. And I denied the Nakba somehow, which is crazy. So let's talk about that after this clip.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
And by the way, you're not going to scare us. You're not going to.
I'll just say up front, we can end on that point.
I can keep going.
Guys, I think the debate's almost over. They can end on this point right now. Holy shit, dude.
Sure you
want to.
Yeah, I know.
Spoiler alert, they don't end on this point, just to be clear.
You go to bed tonight in a cool race car bed, but I have family.
Okay,
kids.
No, that's fine. Why are you thinking about what my bedroom looks like?
It's gonna be a long night.
Kind of weird, man.
Yeah. No, you're right. You fucking badass fucking sports car bed. It's a meme.
Very odd.
As long as the people in Gaza are subjected to a genocide, we won't stop. Do you know all the praise that's given to the Danish government because it helped evacuate Jews during World War II? But is there a case where a totally distant people did that for the people of Gaza? If I were to give a...
Why is it like all these philosophers like talk like Jordan Peterson? Like they all have the weird nasally, high-pitched crying voice while they explain whatever important thing they have to say.
Nobel Peace Prize, I would divide it between three. South African delegation. Number two, those doctors who volunteered to go to Gaza, the Doctors Without Borders and others. One doctor, he was Palestinian. Why don't you leave? Because he had the option. He was able to go. He said, I didn't go to medical school for 30 years to abandon my people. He was killed. And the third, it's the Houthis.
Asmongold's editor used your iDubbbz coverage in the new Asmongold clip. Based.
If genocide is the crime of crimes, the Houthis are the hero of heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the first two examples, I definitely agree. I think it's psychotic to give the Houthis a peace prize. That's nuts.
Why?
Because what the fuck?
It's so much worse than I thought.
Fortunately, I was wrong in
criticism, but it turned.
We had to go to the gala.
Yeah. Wait, that's even funnier. Holy shit, dude! Another one. People keep seeing the fucking Asmongold clips because like my normie friends actually watch them, which is funny.
What have they done for peace other than kidnap innocent civilians? What have they done for their own populace? As you said, the poorest country on earth.
That is a direct material. The Houthis have.
What does this have to do with the river and the sea?
Material consequences for Israel as it has implemented a genocide.
All right, let's give them a peace prize. Whatever, I don't care. Let's give them a peace prize.
I think they deserve it.
It's cool that his editor puts that stuff in there because I've been super critical of Asmongold. So the fact that he's putting me in there anyway, and I think Asmon's interacted positively a few times, whatever. He knows I'm like actually critical of his shit.
Wait, also,
don't ask the unaffiliated prisoners who were held for a year, though, if they do.
No, I don't. I think you're missing the broader point here. You're missing the forest for the trees.
Right.
Here, I'll give you a great example of this, by the way, because you spent a lot of time being like, the Houthis are bad. They're homophobic. I'm sure they are. Holy shit. Also, Dan, it keeps switching back to me on my end. Sorry.
Wait, the Houthis are bad. They're homophobic when the fucking the inbred Jewish people are bad, but it's okay because they're Nazis. I don't know can I call a Houthi the N-word? Who can I call the?
Let's talk about the issue of the Nakba and stuff.
Okay, hold on.
When do I get to say it?
Hold on. I know you keep saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter. This is boring."
Dude, we're like 8 hours into the stream, dude. Nuclear Nick is coming out here, dude. Alabama Nick is coming to town.
Whenever you come across
it's irrelevant,
you have to admit
and you just talk and talk and talk. It makes the video unwatchable.
You said the Houthis are barbaric. They're homophobic. They hate women. All this shit, right? And I'm sure a lot of that is correct. Of course it is. It is the fucking poorest nation on the planet, and all it is known is fucking death and destruction. This doesn't justify having that sort of opinion, of course, but it's certainly...
All right, we're going to test something out here. I have watched 3 hours of this stream and most of it was at 1.25. We're going to attempt to hit 1.5 now. I understand Hasan is talking very fast. We might have to dial it back. But this is a change that I am willing to make because we still have a long ways to go. And we're going to be here probably... I said 10 would be the high point. We might exceed that.
Understands, don't you think? Certainly is part of the point, part of the problem.
I think this is okay. I think this is still audible.
And the best possible way to probably get them to have a civil rights movement to give gays rights would probably be to stop fucking bombing them.
Wait. All right. The only way we can have a civil rights movement where those, if we stop bombing them, they will love gay people, is an interesting angle.
Criticism.
And as Donald Trump has done.
Yeah, that wasn't my chief criticism. I mean, again, my criticism is that they are kidnapping civilians.
Yeah, I know. You don't like their methods, but you have no alternative method.
I said just do it without kidnapping civilians, dude. It's not rocket science.
Let's get back to the IDF.
Dude, they'll be like, thank you for no longer bombing me, okay? Human rights. Dude.
You said the IDF is maybe not a terror organization, but the IDF is a terror
organization.
Say that.
Wrong.
Through and through.
Wrong. Again, a liar.
Okay, so you think the IDF is a terror organization?
I said yes.
You believe
I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Okay.
Fuck!
Your wife was...
I lost to Ahsoka.
...in the IDF.
Yeah.
Do you believe your wife is a terrorist?
Of course not.
You have considered a 19-year-old Yemeni TikToker who is not even a part of the Al-Houthi family with no Houthi affiliation, but simply a person that says he stands with the Houthis, and I do too, a terrorist over and over again because he has a gun in the second highest gun ownership density per capita, and because he responded to a fucking Instagram comment saying he's a soldier, a dude who doesn't even speak English.
Let's watch this.
You kept claiming that he was a terrorist over and over again.
He is.
His name is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a fucking Zaidi Shia. He's not even a part of the Houthi family.
Let's watch that evidence.
His last name would be al-Houthi, not al-Haddad. Okay.
Let's watch that evidence.
This person, you looked at a 19-year-old fucking teenager who's a TikToker,
terrorist,
in the poorest country on the planet, who's only known death and destruction, and spent countless fucking hours looking through whatever his social media was.
Hold on. Someone who's known death and destruction from his oppressors? Wow. We're lucky he hasn't raped anyone yet, according to Hasan Piker. Dude, we're so lucky he hasn't even raped any civilian women yet. Holy shit.
To be like, this guy is bad.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, of course he's fucked up. He lives in goddamn Yemen.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is?
Like you, dumbass.
Do you know what the bigotry of low expectations is? You're saying because he's poor, he hates Jewish people? Let's watch.
Ready? No, it's not because he's poor that he hates Jewish people. It's because he lives in fucking Yemen. And in that part of the world, the only thing that people see is the dangerous conflation of Zionism and Judaism.
I'm sure
the fighter jets that blow up their fucking schools have a Star of David next to them. And when the Palestinians are kidnapped, when they're fucking forced to go through military trial detention, they get fucking Stars of David carved on their heads. Israel is the one that dangerously and falsely claims to be the nation state of Jews. Israel is the one that makes everybody think that this action, all of the action, the genocide that you called a genocide, is actually being done at the behest of Jews.
That's not true.
Of course, for everyone in that side of the fucking world, when they say Jew, it's interchangeable with Israel. Many of these people, including...
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
What?
Do you think he's like Anne Frank?
Oh, of course, absolutely. He has withstood genocide. He has withstood genocide by the Saudi government. Of course I do. I think that...
Wait. Oh, God, dude. Why is this person one of the top political streamers? This is actually so fucking painful.
But my point that I was fucking presenting. My point that I was fucking presenting.
Anne Frank is famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people.
Yeah, literally. Ugh, dude, this is such a fucking stupid argument.
Despite a fucking Holocaust that took every member of her family but her dad. That's why she's inspiring. This guy went on Twitter and said, fuck Jewish people. Would you think
Anne Frank would be less inspiring if she somehow was able to get out?
If she was like, I want to kill Germans and hang them, yeah.
Took up arms against the Nazis? Would you say that Anne Frank is bad for that? Say Anne Frank is bad for that, Ethan.
For something that...
Dude, disavow Anne Frank! Disavow her now!
Anne Frank would be bad if she took up arms against the violent Nazi occupation. Say it.
It wouldn't be the same, for sure. It
wouldn't be the same.
She's famous for being a pacifist and seeing the good in people despite living through a Holocaust. You understand that? That's not what... Let me show you. Let me show you.
Do you think that...
You gotta put it to 125 for this? Okay. Let's drop it back.
Do you think that if Anne Frank took up arms against the Nazi occupation,
Israel isn't occupying Yemen anyway?
What?
Israel's not occupying Yemen.
Israel isn't. But for every single...
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Country in this region, American imperialism is all
say the Saudis.
Wait, it's our fault. It's our fault. We're the fucking Nazis.
You said this. Why don't they say death to Saudi Arabia on their flag? Why is it Jews? Why is it damn the Jews?
They're directly fighting Saudi Arabia.
But I thought, you see the Star of David. Of course they hate Jews. What about why does their flag say death to fucking Israel and damn the Jews?
Their flag says death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews.
Damn the Jews,
I have
curse
said
upon
time
the
and
Jews.
time again is kind of...
Wait, so... Hold on.
Gauche, not acceptable, not appropriate by Western standards. But if you listen to
Saudi Arabia?
Clip on that too. Norm has a clip on that too. Do you want to see?
No, let me show you this because you've been going on and on.
Norm Finkelstein explain that?
No, I want to show you this. Okay, you've been talking.
Israel's not occupying Yemen, and it says a curse upon the Jews on the fucking Houthi flag, and he's defending this because there are other places that are, is that Is that what's happening here? Okay.
Very good. Let's watch this.
Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Ethan?
You got to stop.
Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising?
I'm going to play this video, okay? He says, ready for maybe I read sacrifice and eager for martyrdom. Maybe he's talking about football. Here he is singing a song with the words, do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew? Meaning of Houthi is a title, and it's not something to fear, but for the Jews. They are very afraid of this title. The execution we will carry out on all Zionists with the lovely depiction of a man impaled through his asshole and out of his mouth.
He went from bass to mouth, I know.
A pike, or how Hasan likes to say it, a pike for a cut.
He was on a Hasan Piker. Yeah, I understand. The Jew was on the Piker, okay?
Okay, why would he retweet this article called Houthis use social media to boost global prominence and support? Israel falls. Wait for the new operation in Tel Aviv. The Jaffa drone, which no Israeli defense can stop. The ships we bombed and sank. I know the red arrow is supposed to be a cool military Hamas thing. This is a butt plug. Just saying. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and Zionist is clearly interchangeable to this guy. Okay, but hating Jews doesn't make you a Houthi. Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive. Why did he...
So is that why, like, Frogan and you guys cosplay as Houthis, where you guys use Jew and Zionist, like, interchangeably? Are you trying to be more like the Houthi, Luffy pirate people? I like how he can explain how other people use the terminology that way, but when they do it, it's not that. No, you're crazy, you're gaslighting, you're unhinged, you're schizophrenic, you dated Destiny.
Why did he say yes? Are you a soldier?
Bro, he doesn't even fucking speak.
They can't even conceive of that when you talk about him, Frogan, Denims, Mike from PA. But then the minute you see one of these people, it's like, oh yeah, obviously they use that interchangeably.
Because you're like, oh, he's a soldier. Wait, even if he is, I'm going to ask you a question very clearly and very deliberately. If Anne Frank
just like Anne Frank, by the way.
If Anne Frank lived, if we had the internet during the time of the Holocaust and Anne Frank posted about this is what we're going to do to the Nazis, would your analysis of Anne Frank change even a little bit, even an iota?
Yes, of course it would, because
they would have IP tracked her phone and found her in the fucking. They would have found her faster.
She's famous for being a pacifist, not tweeting out "That's all Zionists." She's famous for seeing the good in people, not fucking tweeting out that we want to nuke Israel. What do you mean?
That one, because I would not give a fuck. I would be loud and proud going, hey, that's what...
Anne Frank would be using ExpressVPN. By the way, I am not using ExpressVPN anymore.
She said, that's what we're going to do to the Nazis? Fuck yeah, girl.
So after watching that...
ExpressVPN imploded on my computer. It, like, stopped opening. Then it wouldn't let me uninstall it. So I had to install a third-party software to get ExpressVPN off of my computer, and I still can't reinstall it. So I have to cancel my subscription because for some fucking reason, and you can Google this, it's happened to a lot of people, the file just imploded. And I can't find all the pieces of it. So it keeps thinking it's still installed on my hardware. Do not install ExpressVPN until they figure out what the fuck is happening.
Compilation, you still agree that he's just like Anne Frank?
Did you not hear what I asked you?
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anne Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never hold that against her. She was fucking killed
in a concentration camp, you psychopath.
But if she did...
Dude, she was struck from world too soon. She couldn't resist yet. What the fuck is wrong with him? This is
terminated with her whole fucking family. Her dad's the only one that survived and recovered her journal. Are you fucking mad?
Either, Ethan, right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against her?
I wouldn't hold it against her, but she wouldn't be the same historical figure.
He's literally using like the corpse of Anne Frank's skeleton, all right, to just completely shield him from any fucking. This is so insane.
That said, despite my family being killed in a concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck? What's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not nuke Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
I can't believe we're once again discussing the posts.
Use Revo installer. That's what I use, and I still couldn't get it off my computer. That's the crazy part. I literally use Revo uninstaller or Revo installer. I did exactly as you're wording, and it still won't reinstall. It couldn't find every piece of it.
Of a dude in Yemen
you really like to
19
do that.
Fucking years old.
Well, you said he's not a Houthi. You mean you went on and on and on and on about how he's just some random fucking innocent kid that you platformed and blazed the fuck up, by the way. Which is, by the way, just terrible journalism. Like you have KFC in Yemen? Is that the fucking best question you have for someone who's apparently surviving a genocide in Yemen, who's been with the crew of kidnapped hostages, who has apparently partied with the captains?
That wasn't even correct.
You say, is there KFC in Yemen? Are you fucking kidding me?
I personally enjoyed it because of the clip. I think it was worth it. I think that was a valuable question, dude.
Here's some clips that you haven't
besides
shown.
Being wrong, it's insanely incompetent.
We're going clip for clip. We're going clip for clip. Can you please play this? It's from my subreddit.
Sure. Give me a sec. Dan's got to pass it to me. Okay. After this, please, we got to move on to the Nakba thing.
Yeah. every single victim of Israeli or American violence has to be a pacifist.
Okay, do you want me to watch this? I mean, what the fuck, bro? It's 4 minutes, so I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I'll watch like a minute or 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay, this is literally not in English, and I'm not fucking translating. Oh, I'll let Hasan say it.
Please, we love the Jews. Give me a break. Our problem is not with the Jews,
like a
guys.
big man, buddy, dunking on a fucking 19-year-old living in Yemen. You pick and choose what you think. You pick and choose what you think is appropriate.
Well, what do you think about all the shit I showed you? Which do you think he believes, this or that?
I think he believes both. This is not.
He both believes the Jews are our friends, and also we need to murder them. The problem is, he believes that Jews are our friends, and we need to murder.
Sometimes you have to kill a couple of friends to make an omelet. I don't know if you've heard that phrase.
For them all, is that correct?
The problem is you conflate.
No, he said Jews. He and you said this is what we're going to do to Jews.
From a Western perspective, for them, when they talk about Israel, they sometimes reflect it as
the Jews' fault, right?
But listen to me. You're blaming the victim. Because in that interview that I conducted with him, I asked him about how he felt about Jews, anti-Zionist Jews specifically.
I remember.
And he said he loves them.
That is such a lie. You're such a liar.
You don't know this person.
I watched it. That's not what he said, though. He said if they support Palestine, then I like them. He didn't. You're lying. You're just lying. You're lying about what he said. You're lying. I've seen that interview. You're lying. He didn't say that.
I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
He said if they support Palestine, then
your mom said that growing up. Your mom said that she loves Jews if they support Palestine. That's a pretty oddly specific thing.
And that's good. What? That's what he said. It's a fucking materially way different than
yeah, he just caught him in another lie.
Of Jews. What the fuck you said?
No, you didn't hear you just repeated what I said.
What'd you say?
I said love, but I think he didn't. I guess he didn't
say
love.
What did he say? Hold on.
He said like.
What did you say he said?
I said that I don't care what anyone's background is. I love them. Jew, Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter. If you are against Israel, I love them. That's what I said. He has no problem with Jews who are pro-Palestine.
That's nowhere close to what you said.
Dude.
Well, you realize you were wrong. You got caught in a lie, so you're revising. It's fine. All right, let's move on to the Nakba thing.
Dude, I don't care.
We gotta move on, bro.
Oh, look, he doesn't care. He lost another point. He doesn't care anymore, guys. It's okay, guys. He doesn't care anymore.
Ethan, listen to my words very carefully. If he had told me, okay, I hate all Jews unconditionally, I am an anti-Semitic person.
He did tweet stuff like that.
The conversation would go very differently. But even then, I probably wouldn't be as vicious as you literally said that on social media, or you want me to be, because I understand the material conditions and what plays a role in people's recognition of the world.
Nobody needs to fear Jews.
Bro, a time traveler just entered the chat. Yo, this intro song is fire. Dude, you've got 8 hours of carnage.
She said, I'm going to shove my gun and kill Jews.
What? No, he didn't say that.
I'll play it again. You want me to play it again?
Yeah, he literally said that.
Oh, God. Okay, dude. You just play the fucking clip then. God damn it. Just play the clip. He said Zionist, but play the fucking clip, Ethan.
Yeah. I'll play it.
Play the clip I said.
Play that shit!
Sent you without fucking complaining. No, it was too dolled up.
Wait, you want me to watch your clip? I thought, no, we're going to watch my clip.
No, play the fucking clip I sent
you. By the way,
I
don't know if this music's claimed, by the way. We can. It does matter,
it's
unfortunately. You're on Twitch where stealing content is fucking regular.
True! Oh, dude, Ethan is so base. He's got all the approved talking points.
But on YouTube, there's standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. God forbid, someone might copy strike you, and then their lawyers might demand erroneous.
Which you admitted is sometimes warranted. Where's the link
Mr. Fair Use? Mr. Fair Use.
Yeah. Do you know what fair use is? You fucking moron. It's using it fairly. There's a big difference between.
No, I know. Fair use is when you get mad at Redditors criticizing you, so you fucking get your high-powered attorney to fucking sue them and make demands about how they have to release information about their about their
let me play this for a minute, and then we'll move on.
All right, play
it. This is the most pathetic terrorist propaganda bullshit I have ever seen, and the fact that you actually think this is credible is so.
Holy shit, dude! You're mogging.
It's so hilarious to me.
Dude,
wow. Let's keep it going. No, I love this. This is great.
All right, just keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying. I don't know where the audio went.
Where the fuck did Ethan go? Ethan just unplugged his microphone and like a fucking... He's using debate tactics right now against Hasan and he doesn't like it.
Oh, why? Was it... Sorry, hold on. We're having...
I pulled it back up. Taylor Lorenz tweeted, what's so crazy is that we tried...
Dude, quoting Taylor Lorenz is another cell phone. Holy shit, dude. Taylor Lorenz, source. Ovulating woman source.
Have an interview with Rashad. The Yemeni
ovulating woman has seen Hasan Piker. She can't speak correctly.
Who went viral for WAPO before Hasan the Hun got the scoop. Ethan continues to chastise Hasan for legitimate journalism and an interview that half the MSM was chasing.
Well, first of all, Taylor Lorenz is a fucking hack loser who's obsessed with you, okay? Of course she would...
Yes! Thank you, dude. Bro, she... Honestly, dude... Oh, God. The funniest shit ever was, like, the avocado toast tweet. But she's legitimately, like, unhinged. But I actually think she writes this stuff because she thinks Hasan will, like, fucking...
Say that. She, by the way, what was legitimate... Name one question you asked him that represents legitimate journalism.
Okay.
One question.
Great question.
I think, actually, I used to say that I thought Taylor Lorenz wanted to fuck Hasan more than any other journalist until that guy from the last fucking article. That New York Times guy wanted to fuck Hasan Piker so much more. I think that is definitively the most thirsty Hasan journalist.
what do you feel about anti-Zionist Jews leading many of the anti-Israel protests?
The MAGA body one, dude. That guy was like erected the entire time he was like writing that article. He's like, oh, I've got another massive clue that Hasan Piker is a really good streamer. Oh, let's investigate your clue. Remember the South Park skit?
It's in the United States of America.
That's your most important journalistic question, which he basically said.
No, you asked me one. I gave you one.
I don't think that. I mean, I find that to be insignificant, especially considering his answer. No follow-up questions.
The Hartley boys will be finding the girl. We've got a raging clue.
Why don't you ask him why don't you ask a follow-up question like,
Ethan,
do you not care if they're Zionist Jews? That they're Israeli Jews that support you?
I don't give a fuck if he cares if there's Zionist Jews or not.
What about what? Do you think?
Jews,
what was the hard-hitting part about asking if he likes One Piece? Was that hard-hitting journalism?
No, it was called humanizing.
It was called cringe as fuck, glazing, pathetic.
Yeah, because you don't like when a fucking brown person gets a little bit of airspace.
Is that
and
right?
They look like a human being.
So you're resorting.
Bro, I'm so fucking sorry. You're getting mad at the anti-Semitism allegations, and he just gets mad and goes, you don't even like when a fucking brown person gets a little bit of clout, dude. They get like 5 minutes on the air, and you're like, ew, brownie, get him off the screen.
Call me racist now. By the way, this dude's white as fuck.
Dude, is Ian gonna put that clip in his next Content Cop video 16 times?
When a fucking brown person gets a little bit of airspace,
is that
and
right?
They look like a human being.
So you're resorting to calling me racist?
Fucking just straight up says you're fucking Islamophobic right there.
Now, by the way, this dude's white as fuck. What are you talking about? This dude's whiter than I am. What the fuck are you talking about, dipshit? Hold on, you accuse me of being racist. Are you talking about this guy? Are you talking about this guy?
Your wife is a part of the IDF. Do you think it's appropriate to call your wife a terrorist?
Dude, he got mad, immediately starts going snark talking points. Your wife is a terrorist. Your wife is a terrorist. Your wife kills children. Your wife is a terrorist.
He
didn't say that one.
Are you talking about this guy?
Are
you talking about this guy?
Your wife is a part of the IDF. Do you think it's appropriate to call your wife a terrorist?
I think you do. No, I don't.
You don't think it's appropriate?
No.
Okay. You have stated time and time again that you believe, to show how pro-Palestine you are, that you believe settlers are valid military targets.
Right.
Who do you think is protecting the settlers who you claim
the
are
IDF
valid
is
military targets?
Fucking insane.
In the process,
was
of
my wife out there
that they're doing.
Sorry, was Hila out there protecting settlers?
No, she was doing a night raid, as a matter of fact, and I didn't know any of this until recently. For the record,
she was
a couple months ago.
Yeah, you're gonna do the Raider of Ramallah snark bullshit. Go on. Yeah, your community doesn't harass anyone. She was 18 years old. She went on a ride along to Ramallah for some kind of fucking mission. She stayed in the car, and then they went back, and that's all that happened. She's 18 years old, bro. She's a secretary.
Of taking someone hostage, you called him it, by the way. That person was.
Now, if I'm Hasan Piker, I turn around and I go, well, how old is our guy? What does her age have to do with it? That's how I would try
Palestinian,
to
living in his own fucking home, and your wife went on a raid to Ramallah, which you have called a terror city.
Yeah, that was an old clip. I don't think Ramallah's a terror city.
Is your wife a valid military target in that process? Because you've said that settlers are valid military targets. Do you think your wife is a valid military target? Do you think your wife is a terrorist?
She's not a West Bank settler.
But she's in the West Bank. Where's Ramallah, Ethan?
That empanada thinks she's valid. Your friend?
Yeah, she probably was a valid military target when she was part of the IDF. That's precisely why she would have survived today, because she's not a rapeable civilian at a fucking rave.
Over at Second Thought, think they're
or a random fucking non-Israeli fucking citizen on a boat. Okay, that would be the people that would be targeted.
She's a valid target.
You think she's a valid military target?
Do you think she's a valid military target?
Do
you think she's a valid military target?
I do not, as a matter of fact. I don't. Okay.
Right. Can we please move on to this? The Napa thing.
Listen to me.
Hasan, bro, you're making this unwatchable.
Listen to me.
Forced military services. I feel like if you're in the IDF, you're probably a more valid military target than the civilians they spend time just fucking like raping and murdering. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably more of a valid military target.
Okay.
We got to move on.
How does this make sense in your mind? You say Israel is doing genocide. She has participated in the kidnapping of a Palestinian in the West Bank.
You don't know who was kidnapped for what reason.
You say you hate the settlers.
Well,
we don't know who was the settlers, Ethan.
Oh, nobody's arguing that Hila Klein is like a valid military target right now. That like they're launching missiles to California. Nobody's arguing that.
Your wife did.
Kidnapped. They arrested somebody. We don't know what happened or what they did.
What
if he fucking stabbed civilians?
Do you
Doesn't that
understand
happen?
the process in which how people are arrested in the West Bank?
Do Palestinian terrorists never stab and blow up civilians?
They're placed under military detention. They are not actually placed. They do not go through a civil court process.
Do Palestinian terrorists ever commit violence on civilians?
You know whose fault that would be? That's the fault of Israel, who has these fucking mandatory military service things. That's their fault. You know.
They are not being arrested. They are not in the West Bank.
You don't know anything about this person or this raid.
In Ramallah, in Palestinian territory, your wife was an illegal...
Everyone's conscripted, it's unavoidable. Oh, believe me, you're talking to the person who's arguing about their fucking taxes, all right? Absolutely. I think it's totally reasonable that Hila Klein served in the IDF instead of fucking going to jail, Okay, I'm sorry. I think that's a totally reasonable thing.
Occupier of a terrorist organization, also known as the Israeli Occupying Force, Ethan. Now, I know people that also serve in the...
They have to, like, lie to bolster her negative contribution to this conflict to make it sound worse because Secretary who did one ride-along isn't controversial enough. Okay? They're absolutely going out of their way to attack her.
Israeli Occupying Force, as a matter of fact. I've relied on breaking the silence.
By the way, her name is Hila. I don't know if you keep doing your wife. Why do you do that? Why do you keep referring to her as my wife? It's bizarre.
Okay, Hila, whatever, who cares?
It just belies some really bizarre
random
thing.
shit.
It's not random at all. It's a lot.
Listen to my words.
Bro,
listen to my words.
So
I have no issue with someone as long as they have recognized their mistakes, as long as they recognize that that was wrong. What I take issue with is consistently defending Israel. You have also participated in the defense of Israel. It makes no sense. You're inconsistent. You say it's a genocide, but people can't resist militarily. You say it's a genocide, but all the people who are outspoken are vile anti-Semites.
Hila was doing
supposed to be able to resist against this genocide. Do you actually think it's a genocide?
Hila was doing mandatory military service. What should she have done?
There's numerous options.
Yeah.
One,
numerous options. Let's hear them.
Religious exemption. 2, refusing to serve.
Wait, what?
There's numerous options. 1, religious exemption. 2, refusing to serve. But even then...
They're all Jewish. What do you mean, religious exemption?
I have a problem with her being socially conditioned into thinking that this is appropriate. I have a problem with what she's saying now. I have a problem with how she reflects.
But the things she's saying now, she's apologized for, and you repeatedly don't fucking engage with her apology. You just slander her further and refer to her as Ethan's wife, so you don't have to actually say Hila.
And doesn't realize that that was an unjustifiable thing to do.
Okay, well, listen, you can talk to her, debate about it. I don't know what you're even referring to. Okay.
What?
I don't even know what the fuck you're referring to. You're just calling.
They're talking about the clip that they play over and over and over again of her calling the fucking Israeli general guy a good dude. That every single person here has already walked back.
My wife a terrorist. Like, well, give me a break, dude.
No,
she did mandatory.
She has talked
let me
on
ask
your
you a
podcast.
question, Hasan.
She's talked
Please,
on your
you gotta let
podcast
me
about
talk.
how she went on a race.
You have to let me talk. The fact that you're just talking over me and being louder does not mean you're right. I promise.
What?
Being louder and talking more does not mean you're right. Okay, it's good just to listen to what I have to say. She's part of mandatory conscription.
Did Hila not volunteer? Did Hila not volunteer to go to the West Bank on a raid because she was bored? In Ramallah.
Yeah, she's 18. It's understandable. We don't know what that guy did, though. We don't know what the raid was for.
He could have been a
vicious
terrorist monster.
Yeah, what if he killed people? Of course. If he killed people, of course he would be worthy of being arrested.
Ethan, is Ramallah a part of Israeli territory?
I mean, it's complicated, right? It's under occupation. No, I don't think so, but it's under occupation, right?
Okay, so why was your wife in Ramallah?
Maybe getting a terrorist that killed civilians. She sat in a car.
It's not complicated.
She sat in a car and didn't even leave it and never did it again.
Your wife participated in an illegal...
You know what the problem is? It's so fucking frustrating because what he's doing, this all-encompassing definition of terrorist by saying anybody who goes to non-occupied territory at all whatsoever is like a fucking terrorist, literally encompasses the entire U.S. Armed Forces. And we're just going back to the fucking 9/11 thing again. It's just so fucking crazy that he's using this to justify it, because it would literally hit every fucking soldier that went to Iraq.
Raid.
It's so stupid. No reasonable person would agree with this definition that he's trying to force on everybody. And it's just to attack Hila Klein for literally no reason.
According to international human rights. That is the reality. Now,
are you upset if this person killed like a child? Would you be upset if this person they arrested like stabbed people? Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
If she were to talk about...
Okay, fine, my wife's a terrorist, bro. What the fuck? It's so boring.
No, stop. Listen to my words.
No, my wife is a terrorist.
As many former IDF vets have on breaking the silence. If she talked about the night raid that she participated in the same way that
just like Frogan says, I don't hate only ones that regret it.
Talk about, I would have no issue with her.
Do you hope she gets PTSD too?
I understand people can change.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. Bingo.
I don't condone the raid, but I mean, see, neither of us have any information about like what actually happened. You know what I mean?
There is no, you don't understand. If she is illegally there, she is not supposed to be there. It doesn't matter. Her and her entire brigade was not supposed to be there.
I don't think she knew what they were doing.
As a matter of fact,
I don't think she knew what they were doing or where they were going.
What she participated in.
I don't think she knew where they were going or what they were doing.
What she participated in.
Okay, she's a terrorist. Please, we got to move on. This is
the reason why. The reason why the Israeli occupying force. The reason why the Israeli occupying force participates in these night raids in the West Bank is to create a constant feeling of terror.
Talking more does not make you right. Okay, you got to understand.
The reason why the Israeli occupying force participates in night raids is to create.
Wait, what does Hasan Piker think of illegal immigrants? Dude, no, listen, those guys, like, keep them there, dude. Keep them there.
Is to create a constant sense of terror.
We don't condone it. She was 19. She was doing military conscription. She didn't know where they were going or what they were doing. Okay, thank you. I'm listening, but you just keep repeating yourself. This is what you do.
The reason why
you got to move on.
I read that one from chat. That wasn't me.
Why I know that?
You said that. State yourself. You should get credit.
You know why I know that?
Do you want this to be unwatchable? Is that what you want?
What?
Do you want this to be unwatchable?
Did Hila even fire her gun in combat? I have absolutely no idea. They have no idea. They're just depicting her as like a child murdering terrorist because it makes Ethan sad. That's probably why.
The reason why I know that, Ethan, is because of breaking the silence veterans who have come out and spoken out against this practice. That's why I know that.
She wasn't in combat. Yeah, I think the closest she came from combat was the ride-along that she talked about, which I don't even know if they said there was even shots fired at it.
Hasan, you say that Hila could have gone to jail and done a conscientious objection instead of joining the army. Why do you pay taxes?
Yes, dude. The approved
Why do you pay
talking
taxes
point.
to the United States
Is this
government?
your big argument, Ethan?
Answer the question.
That I pay taxes and I'm morally culpable? I know. That's why I try to fucking
Why don't you
fight
go to
against the
jail?
goddamn government
Why
doing
don't
this
you
shit every
stand up for
day.
your, hold on, why don't you stand up for your principles and go to jail for it?
Because it would not actually stop, okay? It would not actually stop. The reason why I'm saying...
Wait, hold on. Your argument is that the bad thing wouldn't stop if you go to jail? Oh, that's super interesting. So if Hila Klein didn't become a secretary for the IDF, what do you think that like the regime would have crumbled, the genocide would have ended, the children wouldn't be starving, and there'd be safe locations or whatever that you can go and just hang out? Like the Gaza Strip could be a strip mall. It'd be like rodeo.
I don't have...
Holy shit, dude, that makes so much sense. Okay.
I don't take issue with Hila's fucking actions then, as long as, just like you said, she was just 19 years old. I take issue with the fact that she still defends it on principle. She says the Israeli occupying force is not a terror organization. You have a disagreement with him.
Well, I think I can see it from her perspective too, which is like, you know, the problem with you is that everything's black and white.
You can't see it from Rashid al-Haddad's perspective.
Yeah, he's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah, Hila Klein is actually the anchor being, okay? If Hila Klein was not part of the IDF, this war would have ended, like, fucking 20 years ago.
Audience also doesn't see it.
You said like Anne Frank.
15 years ago.
Fucking constantly claim that he is a terrorist.
Oh my God, bro, please. I want this to be
watchable.
watchable, okay? Let's move on, please. Thank you. You made your point. Okay? So specifically, you said this, which is, you said in the context, puke.
Ethan should have said, why do you stream on, why do you choose to stream on Twitch? Yeah, that's another one. That's another example. It's on the list. But he already kind of brought up the Coca-Cola point, so he'd be retreading more shit.
They
already talked about how he doesn't give a fuck about the boycott list.
Was the worst thing I did, so let me play it, okay? And then we can discuss.
More Jews displaced than Palestinians.
Let me go back
to the 1948 countries
just to give a little
expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians.
This was one of the worst pieces of misinformation I've seen in the fucking context, puke. For the record, it was crazy.
So Mike, again, nicely done. Let this guy hold your hand and formulate your opinions, but he's not here to help you, okay? So you tell me what was wrong with what was misinformation about saying that 900,000 Jews were displaced?
You make a comparison between Planned Dalit, which is a planned ethnic cleansing campaign, to one, horrify Palestinians inside of villages that had actually no arms whatsoever because they had specific peace agreements that they've done with Jewish villages.
What was the exaggeration?
By killing them,
No, this isn't a comparison
by massacring them,
what was
and then
fucking hell, bro? You are
letting
incapable
survivors
of
tell the
answering
tale. You asked me a question and I can't even fucking answer it. What are we doing?
You're not. You're just going on and on.
I am answering it.
What was the exaggeration?
Ethan,
about the historical fact of
lesson, okay? You're gonna learn a little bit right now, okay? Deir Yassin is Tantura. These are two very famous massacres.
Okay, so we're just not gonna talk about
that took place. The brigades, the militant brigades, the Zionist brigades that then formed the IDF, including some that personally called themselves terrorists, by the way, Lihi and Irgun, went in and did horrifying mass rape, kidnappings, throwing people in ovens, and then the survivors were left to tell.
Do we have kits? Where's the forensic evidence? How do you know there were mass rapes? Do we have? Where are the kits? Somebody get the kits.
The tale.
I haven't seen them. I want them on my desk in 20 minutes.
Process. These brigades would go to each individual city.
Picture it didn't happen.
Forcibly ethnically cleanse 750,000 Palestinians. This is known as
what the fuck does that have to do with the Jewish refugees? Answer that question. I know what the Nakba is. I don't deny it. Do you think that is even remotely comparable to Jewish people leaving sometimes voluntarily and sometimes because their governments had made deals with either Israel or France? How many of the 900,000 left voluntarily?
I don't know the exact number of how many left voluntarily. Do you?
Take a guess.
I would suspect that a big chunk of them, you're going to say, did not leave voluntarily, but that is not the case.
Well, you're lying and you're fucking dead wrong. You brought up the fact that I talked about what happened in Iraq. So let me give you a timeline of what happened in Iraq. 1932, they gain independence. 1934, Hebrew is banned. Jews are fired from government positions. 1938, Zionists.
How the fuck does Ethan know anything about Iraq, dude? I would be stun locked in this convo too. I did not know he knew enough about this stuff. I had no fucking idea how much he knew about this shit.
Trivial as possessing a biblical map of the Holy and will send you to jail. The Farhud program, inspired by neo-Nazis.
She got killed by a baseball player, dude. What is going on?
Rashid al-Khalini killed 180 Jews. Hundreds were injured. Widespread looting, property damage. 1947, Jews were banned from immigrating because they didn't want them to go strengthen the state of Israel, and they wanted to hold them prisoners against Israel and the West. In 1948, the war begins. Jewish banks were forbidden to transact with foreign countries. Jews were arrested for Zionist activity, for economic crimes. They were fines that were paid to the Ministry of Defense. In 1949, a month after taking office, the British learned that they were planning to expel the Jews from Iraq before they even left. Does this sound like volunteer? Does this sound voluntary? Does that sound voluntary?
Dan, I sent you a clip.
No.
One of the most important scholars on this issue.
Oh my God,
is an Iraqi Jew by the name of Avi Shleim.
Yeah, I love this. Let's listen to him.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Yeah.
Jews
what is this?
Were convinced that Israel had a hand in uprooting them. After the 1948 war, there was mounting popular hostility towards the Jews in Iraq. 5 bombs exploded in Jewish sites. The series of bombs created a panic which led more and more Jews to register to leave the country. I met an elderly friend of my mother's, an Iraqi Jew called Yaakov Karkukli, who had been in the Zionist underground. One member of his group, Yosef Basri, a very, very intelligent Jewish lawyer, and his assistant, Shalom Saleh Shalom, were responsible for 3...
That's not his real name. That is the most Jewish name I've ever heard in my entire life. His name was Shalom Salah Shalom. Are you fucking... There's no fucking way that a lawyer was named Shalom Salah Shalom. That's crazy, dude.
Out of the 5 bombs. Basri's controller was an Israeli intelligence officer named Max Binet.
Let's grant that what he's saying...
That sounds like somebody who's like impersonating a lawyer. Like if Saul Goodman wasn't Saul Goodman, he'd be Shalom Salah Shalom.
It's true, and that 3 of the 5 bombs were done by Zionists.
That sounds like the most insane Italian lawyer you've ever heard.
That's right. How does that explain 150,000 people leaving the fucking country? What? Thousands of years of civilization that have been there, 2,000 years, just picking up and leaving, almost virtually gone. How does that explain that?
Why is it that the Israeli government, benefited from creating instability and making it seem as though these countries were uninhabitable? And why do you think that, despite the fact that Iraq and numerous other countries have offered Israelis or Jews a right to return,
because they were being
failed on the Israeli front for numerous reasons?
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact for you,
Hasan.
Hasan.
That conclusion.
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact.
I wonder why that happened.
Before the bombs
Wait, what? Hold on.
Being established.
Before the bombs went off, 100,000 of the 125 Jews were already registered to leave. Do you want to explain that?
Yes. Jews wanted to go to Israel, Ethan. They liked the
great.
idea
So let me hear what
you like Israel.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi Schleim actually said.
My research, I established that one bomb was lobbed, one hand grenade was lobbed by a young activist in the Istiklal party, which wanted to expel the Jews from Iraq and confiscate the properties.
Dude, the master lock destroyed the master lock.
Another bomb was, another hand grenade was lobbed into the Masouda Shem Tov synagogue, and there 4 people were killed.
Oh
and
my
he was
God.
a criminal who had a grudge against the Jews, and it had nothing to do with the Mossad.
Did you hear that? The first 2 had nothing to do with the Mossad. But let's continue to listen to the respected scholar, Avi Schleim, you fucking liar.
Hold on.
Nope, you listen to this fucking historian.
Yes,
you said they left by choice.
Holy shit, dude.
They left because of Zionism. They left because they were being threatened. Let's hear what your respected historian has to say, you liar.
That's right.
Wait,
even
listen.
If all this is true, the main reason
okay, this is fucking
for
crazy.
the Exodus
I don't even know what
was
to
not
say.
the bombs, it was persecution by the government. And I concede that. It's not part of my argument that the bombs were the main reason for
look
the
at Hasan's fucking face.
liquidation of this community. But my answer to my Zionist critics is, even if I knew for certain that not a single Iraqi Jew left Iraq to go to Israel because of the bombs, I would still think this is a real indictment of the state of Israel, because Israel was created to provide a safe haven for Jews, not to be harassing and threatening Jews in other countries.
By the way, he said, and I'll quote it for you, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe." He wrote that in his book, 3 Worlds. Have you read that book?
No, I have not read 3 Worlds.
Okay, well, you're using a lot of sources.
Dude, notice he's not like jumping in trying to take over the conversation anymore. He's completely chilled out.
It's a book that he wrote about his migration.
It's not the only book he wrote about this.
Dude, he's 1 HP right now. He literally just got knocked. Dude, daddy knocked him down, bro. What the fuck?
But go on.
Have you read any of the other ones?
Yes.
Dude, it's like a fucking dad, like attacking his, like not attacking, but like disciplining his child right now, dude. Holy fuck, bro.
Really? Which ones?
The book that I'm referencing is from the Iron Wall.
3 Worlds, okay? He writes about
his... Ethan just pulled out the belt and disciplined his kid.
Time in Iraq. He writes about his time...
Well, actually, he disciplined Destiny's kid.
He writes about his time in the UK. In 3 Worlds, he writes about his own family, and he describes their departure from Iraq as traumatic, disorienting, and not voluntary. They were not proud Zionist migrations. They were leaving out of fear.
Oh, Ethan.
He said that himself.
Ethan.
He said, we did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
My friend, you are failing to comprehend a very important reason why I brought up Avi Schleim, by the way.
Oh, okay, please.
You think he supports your claim, but he absolutely
Hasan. Why'd you bring him up?
does not.
We're all ears, Hasan.
That's why, because you're a fucking liar.
He absolutely
Contend
does,
with what I said.
Hold on.
No. Contend with what I'm saying. He said we did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe. Do you want to explain what he meant by that? Explain what he meant by saying we didn't leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Okay.
Explain to me.
I can't wait to bring up Avi Shlaim on the broadcast to make you fucking look like a dumbass.
I can't wait to. Now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer.
Does he call into the street?
Iraqis are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit.
What?
Because
no longer
Iraqis
safe.
are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit.
What?
Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
you are
Zionist
out of your mind.
is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews?
What happened, bro? Dude, he was like. Completely silent, screamo mode. What the fuck, dude? I love this. Dude, nobody's ever pushed Hasan this far before.
You fucking moron! You racist piece of shit!
What?
Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
you are out of your mind.
Is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot! You are so out of your mind.
And then Iraqis,
dude, you screaming and grandstanding doesn't mean you're right.
Iraqi government's racism during the pan-Arabic nationalist movement.
Yeah, like what does that even have? Like, why would you even invoke them then? If your answer is, well, the Iraqis are not the same as the fucking Palestinians, then why would you invoke this comparison?
As a vindication for why, or a comparison to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Do you think
you fucking racist piece of shit?
Thanks, Hasan.
Do you think Iraq? Do you think all Arabs have one fucking mind?
Why
is that what you think?
Were the Iraqi Jews leaving Iraq in fear?
Of course there were Iraqi Jews that left Iraq in fear. I've never said that there were no
Answer
Iraqi
the question.
Jews that left
You want to call me
fear.
racist? Why were Iraqi Jews leaving to go to Israel?
This is like Hasan's Sam Hyde moment. You're just realizing it now.
Because you're a fucking moron.
That's why they left it.
It's just him screaming because the point didn't end where he wanted it to.
You left because I'm a fucking moron?
That Arabs are not
Hasan,
one-minded. That there were numerous pan-Arabic
Answer the question. You're going to call me racist, but you won't answer. Why did the Iraqi Jews leave Iraq?
There were numerous
because of
reasons.
anti-Semitism. They hated Jewish people that had nothing to do with Israel. They were forced to leave. They were chased out. They lived there for thousands of years. They had businesses. They had homes. They were forced and banded to go to Israel because it was the only fucking place they could. Why would Iraqis hate the Jews living there if they had nothing to do with Zionists or Israel? Why?
Because settler colonialism
that has nothing to do with them, you absolute fucking dumbass. What does that have to do with the Iraqi Jews?
Do you think the Aliyahs were happening?
So it was there. So you're blaming them? Are you blaming the Iraqi Jews who had nothing to do with it? What the fuck is?
I will say this looks really fucking awesome. I don't know the fucking history of this region or any of that stuff, so I can't comment on the validity of it. But this looks really awesome.
Your point. You call me racist.
I'm not justifying the racism. I'm not justifying it. You're not comprehending my point.
They left.
I've never justified
because
that.
Iraq turned on them after 1948.
Ethan,
you're materially wrong. You're lying.
I recognized that there were numerous reasons why other countries, I know hard concept, all Arab, they all have the same mindset.
I know, let's go over it, genius.
I will say, though, I'm more inclined to believe Ethan because every other word out of Hasan's mouth since this fucking argument started is you are a racist, Islamophobic racist.
Nationalist movements as states
let's go over them.
All Browns look the same, eh, Ethan? Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really bode well for the comparison.
In Egypt.
Mostly by Western
you want to
nations.
talk facts? Let's talk facts.
Ethan,
Egypt.
you got fucking a ChatGPT summary. Let me explain to you so you can fucking not look like a dumbass.
Bro, is your ChatGPT broken, dude? Fucking counter.
Okay, do you want to listen or do you just want to add home?
No, I want to tell you my perspective.
No, you want to talk. That's the problem. You don't want to listen. You've talked
You're supposed
plenty.
to be attacking my perspective.
You called me racist, bro. The least you can do is shut the fuck up and listen to me talk, okay? The Iraqi Jews left because they were in fear of anti-Semitism. They had nothing to do with Israel or Zionism. The Arabs in Iraq, the Iraqis, turned on them because of what happened in the war in 1948. That had nothing to do with them. So if you want to blame the Jews for their own anti-Semitism, you go right ahead, but that's racism. Now let's talk about Egypt.
I also recognize that.
No, you're not. You are absolutely not. In Egypt, 75,000 Jews were displaced. Okay? Following anti-Jewish riots and bombs in Egypt.
Is Egypt Palestinians? Is Iraq Palestinians? Why were the Palestinians
it's got
never
nothing
allowed
to do with that? They were forced to go there by the Arab country.
It just seems so cowardly to take this fucking way out.
Countries have offered the Jews that were expelled or left on their own
it's time
voluntarily.
To listen,
These are completely separate
Nobody's
countries.
Yeah, it's just not relevant to the prompt.
You are packaging them together.
No one is justifying the Nakba. I'm explaining how it's fucking insanely racist to discredit the plight, the running of discrimination.
Racist, don't discredit the plight.
But I'm not justifying the Nakba. You seem to be justifying why Jews were chased out of their home country.
No, I'm not, Ethan.
Why'd they leave?
I'm not justifying that at all.
Why'd they leave?
That You think that because you want to drive home a point that
why
this
did they leave their communities that have been there for
It feels pretty driven.
2,000 years, leaving their money, their businesses, their homes. Why did they leave?
You'll understand. Do you think Iraq is Palestine? Do you think Egypt?
Yeah, no, you're like screeching. No, you're racist is really good, dude.
Is Palestine?
It's a really good rebuttal.
But he's defending the Nakba.
Do you think that all Arabs are operating on antiquated anti-Semitism? And if your answer is yes, why the?
What the fuck is that light? Did he get that commissioned of himself behind him? The ripped bodybuilder Hasan Piker light in the background of his son. I'm sorry, I just like locked my eyes with that. What is that? I just noticed this. This is like extremely fucking cringy because his muscles are not that big.
Fuck did Jews find the Ottoman Empire to be a safe haven for fucking hundreds of years?
Let's talk about the last 100 years. That's great. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire was great for the Jews. Let's talk about the last 100 years.
It's supposed to look like Gold's Gym? I don't know, dude. Maybe it should be in proportion.
1948. Anti-Jewish riots broke out after the war. Hasan, you need to shut the fuck up and listen, okay? After the war.
Oh my God.
After the war, okay, in 1948, there was anti-Jewish riots and bombs in Egypt. Why was that? Because of the Jews? The Jews brought it on themselves? Following the establishment of the Israel...
I never made that inference. What are you talking about?
Of course you did.
No, I didn't. I did not make that inference at all.
So they left because Zionism.
No, Ethan, if you were to listen to my words, and I use them very carefully, even though I get heated sometimes.
Dude, his Tourette's just said QED. Look at this.
No, Ethan.
His Tourette's were like, come get me, motherfucker, dude. Holy shit, that was the most badass fucking twitch I've ever seen. Look at that.
I did not make that inference at all.
So they left because Zionism.
No, Ethan.
Dude, holy shit, even the Tourette's are on his side in this debate, dude. Everything is going his way.
And if you were to listen to my words, and I use them very carefully, even
his Tourette's were aura farming.
I get heated sometimes.
Right.
Okay. Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, each of these countries.
Yeah, he can call his Tourette's Patrick because they were baiting men, dude.
Where Jews lived in the MENA region all the way to the Levant had different reasons. Some of them were direct pogroms. Others were the colonial.
You are a tangibly, historically proven
liar.
Do you think that Jews,
and I just said that some of them were because of pogroms. You're not hearing anything I'm saying. You're so conditioned to saying liar.
The amount
you're
that
undermining
left,
your own point.
The amount that left because of Zionism was minute. They were chased out. They were forced to become Zionists by their oppressors because they had nowhere else to go. In Egypt, following the establishment of Israel in May 1948.
Ethan, none of these countries are Palestine.
That is
none
an insanely irrelevant point. A series of bombs targeted Jewish areas in Cairo between June and September. They killed 70 Jews, injured 200. They confiscated Jewish-owned businesses and synagogues were attacked and destroyed. Okay?
Ethan.
In 1956, the Suez Crisis.
One is direct violence, direct planned violence and an extermination campaign.
Approximately 25,000 Jews were expelled from Egypt.
Falsely misplaced hostility.
25,000 Jews were expelled
from other countries.
So are you blaming them?
You don't understand.
Are you blaming the Jews for getting? Are you blaming the Jews for being expelled from Egypt? 25,000 of them.
No, Ethan. If you listen to my words, you would understand.
So what is it I exaggerated about? 900,000 Jews were displaced.
Crash out. This feels pretty crash out for Hasan.
Because you are making a comparison with different countries versus one singular force that planned an extermination campaign, planned an ethnic cleansing campaign. Other countries and the reaction to it, or other countries and the previous hostility towards Jews have nothing to do with Palestinians. So making this comparison is gross.
That's why it's anti-Semitic. It has nothing to do with Palestine, but they still got kicked out for being Jewish. That's literally what anti-Semitism is.
I don't think you understand.
1,000 Jews in Egypt were arrested and detained without charges. The government seized 500 Jewish-owned businesses and froze bank accounts. The expelled Jews were compelled to sign a declaration donating their...
Do you think at this moment, while Ethan is ranting here, that Hasan goes, all right, maybe not the best idea? Maybe I might have come in here with like I might have overplayed my hand on this one.
Property to the
Hasan keeps looking over at his Discord messages. I think that's probably the case. Yeah.
Egyptian state and were allowed to take only minimal personal belongings. In Algeria, 130,000 Jews were expelled. Upon the independence,
that's not Palestine. They're not. They're just Arabs. They're not.
I mean, dude, even if Ethan came in and like won about 25% of this conversation, I would say it's a pretty embarrassing thing for Hasan. I think he's much higher than that.
Okay,
the same fucking people.
So my point is very simple. They were expelled from their homes because of anti-Semitism.
Much higher than that.
Ethan, you used Egypt as an example.
What is wrong about that?
Half of these countries that you're pointing to in the time when Jews were leaving were literally controlled by English and French. By English and French colonial occupations. What are you talking about?
They were expelled because of anti-Semitism. What did I say wrong?
Go ahead. God.
Go ahead.
Algeria was under French occupation. It is the design where the French occupied Algeria did not squash the attempts of expelling Jews. I'm not saying that there wasn't.
Most Algerians were French citizens and went to France.
That caused Jews to feel unsafe.
95% of Algeria's 140,000 Jewish population.
Individual, often sometimes Western powers, and what they allowed in those countries on the Palestinian plight. When you make this comparison, that's what I'm saying.
Is it anti-Semitic for Jewish people to get kicked out of their home?
The Armenian genocide, right? The Turkish, the Ottoman Empire, and the forces, and the Ottoman genocide that they that they conducted a mass extermination campaign is because other fucking random countries where Armenians
Iraq happened after independence, and as a
dispelled, Turks were getting dispelled in other countries.
The pogrom happened as a direct
thing that, that's
result
the way
of
that
the
it was
war,
taught in the past. That it was a,
by the way,
it was a necessary voluntary migration.
By the way, did you?
Because,
oh my God, bro! Did you say Anne Frank died before she could resist? I don't know if that was a fever dream.
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
Wait, I'm saying that, like, would you have an issue with Anne Frank if she actually was able to?
I just thought it was an insane thing to say. I'm not trying to litigate it. In Tripoli.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to strike on the record that did occur. I don't know if I was hearing "Wake Up, Ethan" in my head, and I didn't know if you said that.
Jewish rights broke out amid post-war unrest. Synagogues
the point is, it's completely fucking crazy to say something like that.
Burned. Jewish institutions were shut down.
What's your point about Anne Frank? Why are you trying to deflect away from what I'm saying here?
She was Anne Frank struck down before her prime. That's what it sounds like. She was struck down before she could become a freedom fighter for the resistance.
That statement was insane. The Six-Day War backlash. In 1967, another Israel victory. Jewish communities got mobbed. 6,000 Jews were evacuated. Homes were destroyed. Synagogues were burned. In Morocco, 250,000 Jews were expelled.
Gone too soon.
Anti-Jewish riots broke out in 1948. You'll notice most of these pogroms are happening in 1948 as a direct result of the war. The Arabs turned on their Jewish populace out of anti-Semitism. Period. Point blank. June 7 to 8, 1948.
In some ways, you could say that terrorist Luffy has gone and done what Anne Frank wishes she could have.
In northeastern Morocco, following the Declaration of State of Independence of the State of Israel on May 14, 1948, anti-Jewish riots erupted in the town of Jarada. These towns were significant transit points for Moroccan Jews seeking to immigrate. 47 Jews were killed, many were injured, Jewish homes and businesses were looted and destroyed. In 1950, 1960, harassment and immigration. The year following 1948 riot,
you know what's crazy is that Ian has literally docked his boat with these people, and Hasan literally supports pirates. Okay? Whilst he goes to Creator Clash, shakes hands with everybody, engages with all of the amenities, all right? This guy is literally pro-pirate. And those pirates, from what I've been told, are the reason why Creator Clash 2 didn't break even or donate enough money to charity. Isn't that insane? Because I've been told that the pirates are what's preventing it, if we go by what Ian has said.
Jews face increased pressure. These factors contribute to a significant immigration of Jews from Morocco. Immigration to Israel was banned in 1959, but before that, 274,000 Moroccan Jews immigrated primarily to Israel. Yemen and Aden.
Remember when you said you weren't a Zionist?
50,000.
Remember when you said you weren't a Zionist?
Yeah, it's a creator clash. Oh, dude, a creator crash out, dude.
These are direct Zionist talking
points.
This
is historical facts, literally spread by your very own Avi Schleim, who, if I'll quote back to you, said, we didn't leave because we were Zionists. We did not leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were afraid.
Appropriate, Ethan. That's the difference. If you ask Avi Schleim whether it is comparable to say the Nakba and the 900,000 Jews that
I'm not defending the Nakba.
From separate countries, he would laugh at you.
Failure
Do you not understand?
to acknowledge the trauma of both groups is the reason.
You have failed, sir. Good day.
Why? You are a radical fucking propagandist liar. Both trauma needs to be acknowledged by both groups. There's two things that need to be true for this ever to be resolved peacefully.
You're right.
Palestinian self-determination and the Israelis' right to have secure borders.
Right, but do you think that Ethan could make these arguments without the coke? I'm kidding. Dude, if he was no coke, do you think he'd be totally losing this debate right now?
Reason why you are
I've been reading a lot of Twitter and they say that he does a lot of coke.
Radical fucking propagandist liar. Both trauma needs to be acknowledged by both groups. There's two things that need to be true for this ever to be resolved peacefully.
If he wasn't doing the old sea salt, you know?
Right,
Palestinian self-determination and Israelis' right to have secure
My source is Twitter.
Borders. As long as you ignore that, there will always be war. Palestinians will always die, and you will continue to make money from it. Operation Magic Carpet. Jews were secretly airlifted to Israel due to rising hostility. 50,000 were relocated in Tunisia. 130,000 after
the PLO did recognize that, and they wanted those countries to actually do a right to return for all Jews. Why did Israel stop that from happening, Ethan? Don't you think that Zionism is the problem here?
Avi Schleim said,
"Oh, what happened? They didn't fucking send you that clip? They didn't send you that piece of information?"
Dude,
so the PLO, Yasser Arafat, the people that don't care about Jewish plight, actually did see
the guy who oversaw the second Intifada. What the fuck are you on about?
To be able to go back and do a right to return if they wanted to do so into their nation of origin.
I'm talking about the flights, bro. You deny the flight of Middle Eastern Jews. No, you deny the flight. You deny the trauma of Middle Eastern Jews.
I don't deny the flight, Ethan.
You absolutely deny.
You know what's funny is Hasan is still not talking as fast as the average Destiny video at regular speed.
The trauma. You deny that they left by. You try to say that they left by choice. That is a gross historical inaccuracy.
There are Jews that left by choice.
Yes, some did. Of the 900,000, the vast majority left because they were afraid. Because they were being discriminated against. That is a historical fact. 6-day war aftermath.
Have you ever actually listened to a clip of me talking about this?
What?
Oh my God, you have no idea what my perspective on this is.
Of course not.
Dude, what do you mean? Wait, okay, hold on. Time out. All right, remember before when I got caught up when he said, go watch my video? Well, why do I have to watch a clip, Hasan? I'm talking to you right now. Dude, it came all the way back. We're good. We actually got it.
Of me talking about this?
being discriminated against. That is a historical fact. 6-day war
aftermath. Have you ever actually listened to a clip of...
Now watching videos matter, dude.
Because they were being discriminated against. That is a historical fact. 6-day war aftermath.
Have you ever actually listened to a clip of me talking about this?
Why would I watch it? I could talk to you. I could talk to you personally, man to man, you know?
What?
Oh my God, you have no idea what my perspective on this is. You're just fucking yelling at nothing.
Well, what are you doing right now? What are you wasting time for, buddy? Oh my God.
This is the reason why you're
I have heard you talk about it time and time again.
That I don't actually believe.
Bro, you are continually, not acknowledging the trauma of Middle Eastern Jews.
Oh my
you characterize it like they left.
Have you ever listened?
Yes, I've seen it.
Have you ever listened to anything that's not 30 seconds long?
Yes, bro. That's so ironic that you're saying that as you misquote Avi Schleim, who said
Wait, have you... Yeah, I watched the content nuke Hasan Piker. It was over an hour.
Because he was afraid, and not because here's the clip.
Over and over again. But you're too busy trying to get gotcha here, so you're just fucking farm a clip. But everyone's still gonna think you're a fucking loser, dude. I'm sorry. Just shut up and listen. If you want to actually hear my perspective.
I'm shutting up and listening to you.
Okay, thank you. The Iraqi Jews, because when anti-Semitism increases in the West.
I like how Hasan just sat there and took it. Did he get muted, or did he really just shut up?
Israel sees that as a complementary tool to its Zionist project.
He literally just sat. He's like, literally fucking talk to me, dude. I'm watching you anyway. And then he just shut up.
Anti-Semitism increases in the West. Israel sees that as a complementary tool to its Zionist project of bringing either all Jews to Israel, or at least make Jews in the Western world that are outside of Israel, Jews in diaspora, support Israel, because it gives additional credence to the argument. It gives additional credence to the argument that no Jew is ever safe if there is no Jewish state. That is the underpinning of the Zionist project in general.
Why did you not mention the anti-Semitism? You exclusively talk about Zionism being the reason for forcing them out. Why do you deny that they were expelled by force, the vast majority of them?
Ethan, if you think that is the entire...
There it is, Ethan. Oh, Ethan, calm down, Ethan. Give it a break, Ethan. You're being a little crazy, Ethan.
Force, the vast majority of them.
Ethan, if you think that is the entirety of my perspective on this matter...
Illuminate me.
You please need to stop talking and listen to the amount of times that I've talked about this.
Bro, just explain yourself.
I'm trying.
I just watched the clip of you being pretty dismissive about the flight. And by the way, you've done it this whole time. You say that Zionism was the main force.
No, I'm dismissive about the aspect that this is beneficial to the Zionist project across the board, because Israel wants all Jews to be constantly fucking terrified in any other country that's not Israel, so that they can actually go and either support Israel if they're not in Israel, or just move to Israel. That is the entire point. That is what Jabotinsky wanted. That is what Herzl wanted. And that is precisely what Benjamin Netanyahu wants as well. So in terms of my explanation, or what I come across as dismissive, is precisely the role that Israel itself played in this process.
Which was minuscule.
It was a mutually beneficial relationship that anti-Semitic pogroms
minuscule. What you fail to acknowledge is that the Jews were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but by necessity, because the Arab countries turned on them after the war and forced them to go to the only state that they could go to.
It's a necessity for Israel to exist, which is what your position is, right?
I mean, that sounds decently accurate.
It's not about what was allowed or not. The Arabs created 1 million Zionists because they're anti-Semitic after the war of 1948 and fucking the rise of Arab nationalism. Do you deny that?
You brought up. Do you
deny what I just said?
Wait,
do you deny what I just said?
Wait, say it again. I wasn't listening.
Ethan sounds like he's right. I don't know this. The politics stuff is not my strong suit. That's not why you're watching me.
1,000 Jews, approximately 700,000 to 900,000, were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but because they were forced out. The vast majority went to the fucking Arabs. The anti-Semitic Arabs.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What? That's my point. Are you okay?
I rest my case.
Okay. Well.
Wait, what? Wait, Ethan just mauled him and he's like, I rest my case. Okay. Awesome. I mean,
you can...
Good. All right, we've conceded. Move on. Next point.
No, you're too fucking delusional to realize what kind of racist nonsense you're fucking
unbelievable,
on. That was my entire
it's
point.
Historic.
Thank you.
I mean, it's historical. You don't know anything of what you're talking about. Avi Schleim, once again, because you don't want to contend, you like to use him when it's convenient. He left.
Yeah, Hasan Piker has decided he's won. Next argument.
Not because they were Zionists. They left because they were afraid.
Fucking Arabs. What was Avi Schleim, by the way?
Yeah, he was an Arab Jew. They didn't see him that way. They kicked his ass out. I'm not saying fucking Arabs. There's a reason for it. There was a rise in Arab nationalism following the 1948 war. They blamed their own Jewish populace for what Israel did. That's anti-Semitism. They have nothing to do. Do you think the Iraqi Jews left their 2,000-year-old communities, left their businesses, left their houses because they wanted to go to Israel? Are you fucking mad?
Ethan, remember a while back I tweeted and you got really mad when I said that there's a double standard between Islamophobia and anti-Semitism?
Absolutely a double standard, and you exhibit it, my friend.
And you're participating in it right now without even recognizing that you're doing so.
I mean, I'm just telling you literally what happened.
It's historical racism. All Arabs are not responsible.
Do people never get racist? Do people never be... I'm explaining why. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just explaining why. After the 1948 war, the rise of Arab nationalism created a lot of anti-Semitism, and that's why the vast majority of the Jews, the 900,000 of them, were forced to immigrate. That's a fact. That's a historical fact.
Ethan, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if your audience gets this as well, but what you just said earlier is not an accurate reflection of history. It's just
How do you know that?
Wait, I'm confused. Hold on. Smaggle just said Ethan said he's anti-Arab. Where did he do that? Am I just like getting memes?
Historical.
And businesses left their houses because they wanted to go to Israel. Are you fucking mad?
Ethan,
you
remember
deny.
a while back I tweeted and you got really mad when I said that there's a double standard between Islamophobia
There's
and
absolutely a
anti-Semitism?
double standard, and you exhibit it, my friend.
And you're participating in it right now.
I'm being memed. Yeah, he didn't say that.
Not even recognizing
It's
that you're
historical.
doing so.
I mean, I'm just telling you
Yeah,
literally
no,
what happened.
Historical racism. All Arabs
They were
are not
racist.
responsible.
Do people never get racist? Do people never be? I'm explaining why. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just explaining why. After the 1948 war, the rise of Arab nationalism created a lot of anti-Semitism, and that's why the vast majority of the Jews, the 900,000 of them, were forced to immigrate.
Ethan,
that's a fact. That's a historical fact.
Ethan, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if your audience gets this as well, but what you just said earlier is not an accurate reflection of history. It's just pure racism.
How do you know that?
How do you know that it's not real?
It's pure racism, bro. Oh my god. He just sat here rallying against the anti-Semitism shit for like the entire first half of this conversation. It's actually so painful to watch this guy talk.
Blame over.
It absolutely was the blame.
That's what everyone on Twitter keeps saying is the big gotcha, that Ethan is anti-Arab. Really?
At a time when every single one of these Arab countries,
absolutely,
with their own version of pan-Arabic nationalism, half of them were already still controlled, by the way, by fucking European.
Smaggle, if you see a clip of them saying that, can you send it to me so I can see the isolated part that they're saying is the part where he concedes it?
Colonial powers like Vichy France.
That was literally just in Tunisia.
The Moroccan expulsion program, and you're using that as a similarity between the planned expulsion of 750,000 Palestinians.
I mean, the details are different, but you're denying. Like once again, you're still not disproving me. What did I say that is hilariously racist and wrong?
Anti-German racism.
Don't make an analogy. Tell me why I'm wrong.
It's like pointing to anti-German racism.
I don't need an analogy. I need facts from you. Why am I wrong?
It's as though you are pointing to anti-German racism happening during the fucking German conquest.
Tell me a fact, right? That proves that I'm wrong. That the vast majority of Jews fled because of anti-Semitism in the Arab states.
Oh, really? It's not what you're saying.
So I didn't say anything wrong.
I take issue with.
I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong, but I'm racist.
It's the idea that all Arabs are fucking one-minded and have something to do with Palestinians in general. Yes, I never said that there wasn't any fucking anti-Arab, anti-Jewish sentiment. That also.
Were the vast majority of Jews, did they leave because of anti-Semitism or Zionism?
The vast majority of Jews,
did they leave?
Regardless of whether or not they left for anti-Semitism or Zionist purposes, is not comparable to the Nakba.
You're not answering. Did they leave?
It is not comparable to the Nakba.
I don't care. That's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm not comparing them.
And by the way, they're both, you made that comparison to say, like, to make it seem as though it was a much larger crime.
Because people let you ignore the trauma of the fact that you want to tell that people in Israel to go back to where they came from. This is where they're from. They were forced to go to Israel.
They could right now. They could go tomorrow.
Really? The Iraqi Jews can go back to their home tomorrow. The Egyptian Jews can go back to their homes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That is insane. You are fucking out of your mind.
They can.
Okay, how? Tell me how. How did the Jews go back to
their... They don't want to, and I understand why they wouldn't want to.
No, they want to.
Why would they could?
How? How would they go back and reclaim their lost assets, their lost property?
There were literally different schemes designed
and by the way, how did they become citizens?
At different points throughout this 76-year-long, drawn-out apartheid structure, there were numerous instances where, yes, there was a right to return offered to Jews and even restitution for the homes that they lost in the process. So, yes, you're wrong. You simply don't know the facts. You are wrong.
You won't say what fact I'm getting wrong.
I just told you.
Did the vast majority of Jews immigrate to Israel following 1948 because of Zionism or because of anti-Semitism?
No. Don't run away
Answer
from this point.
Fucking question.
I don't discount anti-Semitism as a direct consequence of pan-Arabic nationalism that took place in numerous countries.
Answer the question.
I have issues with your comparison. Okay.
Who's comparing? You keep saying that. I'm not talking about the Nakba.
I'm talking about
your unwillingness to recognize Jewish plight.
And you brought it up deliberately to say more Jews were displaced than Palestinians were.
I think that's an interesting fact that you clearly don't fucking ever want to mention because it really messes up your beautiful little narrative.
Why did you bring that fact up right after you talked about the 1948 war?
Because the point is that two people were traumatized.
I think
there was two people that were traumatized. There was two people that were displaced unfairly. It was the Palestinians and it was the Middle Eastern Jews. They both have trauma. You failed to acknowledge one group. You shit on the other one.
Yeah, it seems pretty fucking reasonable. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that when like Hasan is saying that Ethan doesn't cover the Palestinian side of this conflict, and he's like, doesn't cover it, but he's spending significantly more time with the Israeli one. I do think that's some sort of there's a bit of what's it called? Like hypocrisy at play. I think he's kind of I can't even remember the fucking term. He's kind of describing himself. Yeah.
I acknowledge
all lives mattering the Nakba.
I acknowledge both.
It's like every accusation is a confession.
All lives mattering the Nakba.
What? That's what
you're doing. And you're also
projection. Yeah, I literally just couldn't think of it.
How am I doing that?
You're attributing anti-Semitic violence in different countries
at the same time following 1948 pan-Arab nationalism. You said that yourself. These 5 Arab countries were defeated in 1948, and they turned super fucking anti-Semitic as a result. They became ultra-nationalist Arabs. It became popular as Israel declared independence. They said, "Fuck no, we don't want this country here." And yeah, they all became anti-Semitic. That's a historical fact. That
you also
deny.
failed to recognize that Iraqi Jews have been allowed to return to Iraq, and there have been numerous instances where Jews were given an opportunity to return if they wanted to.
How many Jews live in Iraq?
What?
How many Jewish
people? I think 0 right now, but they can.
How many Jews live in the Middle East outside of Israel?
Why would it?
Virtually none. Where'd they go?
Why would Iraqi
If it was
Jews
so
not want to
fucking
go?
great for
Why would
them?
Iraqi Jews not want to go to Iraq? You think right now?
0 Jews, almost virtually 0 Jews live outside of Israel in the Middle East.
Wasn't there was one singular Iraqi Jew, right? Like there was one guy, the singular Iraqi Jew.
Why is that? You don't think that none of them wanted to fucking stay at home?
I don't know. Maybe because there was a religious ethno-supremacist state that was backed by a lot of Western states. There's a direct destabilizer in the fucking region with mass migration happening, especially.
Yeah, it is kind of cowardly to just blame Israel for any problem the Jews have had in the entire region.
Of course, mass migration happening, and then in the aftermath of the Holocaust, with a shit ton more refugees coming in.
Loner checked. It's literally illegal for them to go back now.
Was a much more viable state for them.
Here's the problem.
The viability of said state, of course, is partially a consequence of the other countries and the hostility that people felt towards Jewish people.
You don't want to blame the Arabs,
But this in and of itself, is the heart of the problem, because people conflate Zionism with Judaism.
Yo, we got some shekels coming through. This is exactly how I'm going to get attacked, dude. They're going to say the shekel people have come to give me my daily allowance.
And
that's what the Arabs did when they kicked them all out.
I know, and I don't think it's appropriate.
And so why are you blaming the Zionists and not the fucking Arabs for being racist? Why do you deny the Jewish trauma? Why do you deny the 900,000 traumatized Jews that were forced, including, by the way, what you keep ignoring, Avi Schleim. Avi Schleim said we didn't leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were afraid. Are you hearing that?
Ethan, do you blame the English for the Holocaust?
Oh my God, dude. Let's get some abstract theory going. Let's go.
No.
Who did the Holocaust, Ethan?
Just fucking make your point. I'm not playing this silly game.
Come on, who did the Holocaust? Just say it.
Make your point, dude. I'm not a fucking...
Why not? I'm asking you a question. It's a super simple question.
Avi Schleim said we left Iraq.
Dude, Avi Schleim did the Holocaust, dude. Yo!
Who was responsible for the Holocaust?
Why would I answer such a stupid rhetorical question? Just make your point.
What, you know the answer to this, right? Like, come on, what are you looking at on your fucking computer? Like, which country?
The enemies of World War II, of course.
Is responsible for the Holocaust.
Anytime you want to make your point. I would appreciate if you...
What is happening? Dude, when you already... Okay, whatever.
I would appreciate if you would just listen to one thing I would say.
You already said that it wasn't the English, right? It's not the responsibility of the British that the Holocaust happened, right? You understand that. You recognize that.
Who is responsible for what's going on in Ukraine? Who is responsible to what's happening to the Uyghurs? Who is responsible for...
Right.
Well,
what are your thoughts on Taiwan?
I'd say the nation most directly guilty for the Holocaust was probably...
That's what I would do. If he just starts deflecting, I would just start flinging random shit at him.
Nazi Germany.
Okay.
Why does any of it matter? Yeah.
Read that from your laptop?
No, I'm eloquent. I'm like your dumbass.
I mean, yes, it is. Okay. Notice how you don't actually
put
every single fucking country. There was plenty of anti-Semitism in England too. Notice how you don't fucking say all of Europe is responsible for the Holocaust, but you say all Arabs.
That's the thing is, if anybody false equivalences me, bro, I'm gonna just start flinging them all, dude. Oh yeah, you want to play the false equivalence game? I could bog you down for 45 minutes. We'll ask every question in the book.
Okay.
The point is,
there's no Jews in the Middle East. None.
Anti-Semitic.
Can you listen to one thing? I have one thing important to say that I really want you just to listen to, okay? Avi Schleim said they did not leave Iraq because they were Zionists. They left.
What? No. No, what do you mean no? No. Why did Avi Schleim leave, dude? What happened? I'm conceiving right now. Hold on. How far back are we? How far back?
I already said that it wasn't the English, right? It's not the responsibility of the British that the Holocaust happened, right? You understand that. You recognize that, right?
Well, I would say the nation most directly guilty for the Holocaust was probably Nazi Germany.
Okay.
I would agree.
Did you just read that from your laptop?
No, I'm eloquent.
Wait, guy reading from laptop entire stream reads... Okay.
Well, like your dumbass.
I mean, yes, it is. Okay. Notice how you don't actually put every single fucking country... There was plenty of anti-Semitism in England too. Notice how you don't fucking say all of Europe is responsible for the Holocaust, but you say all Arabs?
Okay.
The point is...
There's no Jews in the Middle East. None. Can you listen to one thing? I have one thing important to say that I really want you just to listen to, okay? Avi Schleim said they did not leave Iraq because they were Zionists.
I'm confused. Did like every single European country like donate all their Jews to the concentration camps? Were they like, was their primary export in World War II sending their Jews to Germany?
That's because they were afraid.
Yes.
You are denying his family's trauma. You are blaming his family's trauma on Zionists.
Some did. Well, then I would blame those. I would blame them if they did that. If they exported all their Jews to the... Oh, sorry, you belong in those German concentration camps. Better get you out of here.
Will you talk to him about this?
Yeah, I would absolutely blame them. Yes.
Sure. I mean, he's going to agree. I read it from his fucking book.
If you're so confident in everything, if you're so confident in all of this, okay, that would be great. All right, perfect. Okay.
So, listen,
I'll debate all these people instead of you. I have time. Unfortunately, like I said, it's getting late, so I just want to make one last point before we go, which is that always remember, Hasan, that
one last point before we go. There's still another 30 minutes.
When people criticize me, I watch it on my stream by myself live, unlike a bitch-made coward like yourself who needs someone to hold your hand, make all the excuses in the world to avoid any single criticism, any response. You, my friend, are a coward, and I am the fucking legend that responded to it live with zero fucking...
I am the legend, knocks water down, destroys laptop.
You, my friend, are a coward, and I am...
Dude, that's so
fucking legend that responded to it live with zero hesitation. But you know why? Because I'm not a liar. I don't have to think about the shit that I say and justify it. You lied. That's why you can't do it, because you'll get caught in those lies.
This is base. This is fucking base,
our
dude.
endeavor made you look good, then congratulations.
You don't think
dude, it was plus 300 aura, minus 100 aura for kicking the water bottle down, and then continuing to go without being pushed, got the 100 back.
I think it was good that you don't think that it was a supreme confidence that I responded to it immediately, live?
Ethan, it took you 4 months to actually entertain the notion of having a conversation.
This guy is a total fucking pathetic coward, dude. Holy fuck.
I don't know about watching YouTube videos.
What a fucking coping loser.
I don't know why you think that I'm
afraid
of
watching 11 hate videos on your
video.
channel. 11 hate videos. I've watched zero about you, Hasan. Do you want to actually discuss who's the coward?
You made the hate videos, dumbass! You're fucking community.
Yeah, that's the part. Yes. Yes, literally.
Is the hate community. Why the fuck would you have to watch?
He's watched all the videos. He's done all the debates. He's asking for more debates. If Ian wants to go on there, I think he offered that the first time when that video came out. Be interesting to see it, right? Ethan has done everything he possibly could to engage with this conflict. Hasan is still too much of a pussy to even watch the video.
Hate videos or whatever. You
Hasan,
are the one
just
who's
remember,
doing it.
When criticism comes, I confront it.
Well, thank you for
when
backtracking
criticism
on
comes to you,
points. Maybe we should go through the context puke one more time so we can
if you want to watch it,
continue this conversation later. Okay.
Listen, if you want to watch
hold your hand
it,
through all the other dumb shit that you said in it. It's not because I'm afraid. It's because you were crying.
No, it is definitely because you're afraid. Why is it you didn't pull? Why is it you love Banter Banana, but when he makes a video criticizing you, you say I'm not watching that?
You can't pull the. Why? Wait, dude, you're just crying right now. 30 seconds ago, you're racist. You're racist. You think all brown people are the same? You're racist.
Because I think it's fucking unproductive to
watch criticism of me. You fucking coward. What are you saying?
Because you're fucking presenting yourself and developing an audience that is literally, without even realizing it, because they are only drama obsessed, without realizing it, they're literally positioning themselves to be pro-Israel, to repeat pro-Israel talking points. Yes, that is the only reason why I started talking about you, because you went on a fucking deplatforming campaign.
Why did you not watch
Banter? Poll is up. Who won?
On this video about you. You watched
There's still 20 more minutes left, so you can change your vote, but who won?
You did 110 Instagram stories on me, Ethan, since January 31st, 2025.
24 hours, bro.
That you didn't even recognize.
You need to at least admit that it's reciprocal. I am not upset. You made 24 hours of nonstop content, bro.
Ethan,
24 hours in the last 2 months.
Just on your own personal
We've talked about each other equally as much, bro.
January. The real answer is that Nick DeOrio won.
31st, 2025, 110 stories. It was so insane, you didn't believe it.
Even if
you don't even believe your own mania. Please, for the love of God.
Hasan, if you talked about me 24 minutes a day, every day, 7 days a week for 60 days. Does that sound fucking reasonable?
After you presented yourself as a fucking significant force trying to literally deplatform pro-Palestinian voices.
I'm telling you think it makes an Instagram story.
That's why. And that's you literally.
Why didn't you watch a bad video about yourself?
Your own producers were begging you to stop talking about me, so much so that you had to set up a separate war room where you only talked about me. And that's what happened, right? Because you couldn't shut about it. Your fans were fucking going, Ethan, we get it.
My fans are fine, bro. Don't worry about my fans.
And the entire time you framed this as though it's petty fucking drama.
It's not petty drama. You are deeply anti-Semitic, hateful fucking propagandist liar.
That took place. And it only took you now to fucking openly say 10 toes down that it is a genocide, but also
I've said that consistently for years.
Oh, he's literally mapped all these positions out. Hasan is trying to rewrite the debate he's still currently participating in.
Liar.
Ethan, you don't want anyone to resist against genocide. It is a fucking untenable position.
You mean kidnapping civilians?
No sense.
You're so pathetic, bro. Please.
And you constantly keep smearing me as a fucking anti-Semite at a time when the Trump administration, is blackbagging people.
Yeah, that's bad happening. Don't call me out. That's bad happening. Don't call me out. That's what you're doing.
Dude, how do you not understand that you are playing a formative role when you don't talk about Mahmoud Khalil?
Just remember, everybody watching.
When you don't talk about the mass starvation of Gaza.
By the way, I advocated for Kamala to get elected. What'd you do? I told people to vote for Kamala. What'd you do?
Oh.
No, seriously. What'd you do?
Ethan,
did you?
Congratulations.
Do you think Kamala and Trump would have been equally bad?
I won't change anything from Joe Biden's policies, Harris.
It's not Joe Biden, it's Kamala Harris.
Not only did I go to the DNC, but I actually offered some pretty fucking valuable criticism to the Democratic Party that they didn't listen to, unfortunately.
Did they kick you out of the DNC?
Because they didn't listen to that valuable criticism, they lost. Why have you lied about
Dude, I went to the DNC and told them how to run their shit, and they didn't, and they lost. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear any ego-maxing Nick DeOrio shit. Oh, he thinks people watch his live stream. Bro, this guy thinks that that politics revolves around him. This guy is total ego death mode right now. Holy shit, dude. Dude, guys, the biggest issue that we should hinge our fucking local American politics is a fucking desert war. billions of miles away from where everybody lives. That's the best way to save all those trans people we've been defending for the last fucking decade. That's the best way to do it. Hinge all of our bets on the fucking desert war. Billions and trillions of miles away from where we live.
Me voting for Jill Stein, by the way. Can we talk about that?
I don't know.
Why the fuck do you keep saying I voted for Jill Stein?
Who did you vote for?
Countless hours shitting on Jill Stein.
I said I think you did.
Not to vote for Trump. I've said that Donald Trump is significantly worse than Kamala Harris. And I've also, on top of that, called Jill Stein.
Yeah, you didn't endorse her.
The thing is, all these guys on social media are super radical, and they're not a representative of the modern Democratic Party. And all of them think that their specific super niche issue is the be-all, end-all for life in America. So they would rather concede an election by saying, I'm gonna vote third party because they've got the best Palestine fucking take, and be like, all right, Trump, welcome back to office. Woo! All these people are cowardly losers.
And over again. But for some weird reason, despite the fact that I voted live, mind you,
and you didn't say who
to your
for.
Audience, and you kept lying to your audience.
I said
and
I think.
making it seem as though I didn't even
the trans people cry out in support when they get Donald Trump elected for president of the United States as he strips away their rights.
Vote or urge people not to vote.
They scream the trans people scream free Palestine as Trump is taking away their last right.
There's never been a moment where I said do
Who
not
did you vote for?
I voted for Kamala Harris. You got a problem?
No, I got no problem, but I think there's people in your audience that would.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem.
Why didn't you endorse her then?
Why the fuck do you keep saying I voted for Jill Stein?
I said I think because you didn't say who you voted for.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's what I said.
think?
It's an
Oh,
opinion.
you think? Oh, you don't give a fuck, dude. It doesn't matter who I vote for anyway. You're out of your fucking mind. I did not endorse Kamala Harris, and I will never endorse Kamala Harris, and I did not endorse Joe Biden.
Now, do you think his audience is mad about this? I did see this clip circulate, getting him to concede that he did, in fact, vote for Kamala Harris. Do you think this is a losing point for his audience? Or do you think they'll just cope because Ethan is the one who got him to say it?
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. It's an opinion. Oh, you think? Oh, you don't give a fuck, dude. It doesn't matter who I vote for anyway. You're out of your fucking mind.
Really? If you voted for Trump, I feel like that would be a big indictment on your character to your audience. I think it does kind of matter for you.
Did not endorse Kamala Harris, and I will never endorse Kamala Harris. And I did not endorse Joe Biden.
Now Trump's
because
president.
you want to know why? Because you want to know why?
Trump's building the Riviera in Gaza Strip, and guess what? You
did.
fucking love that shit because you get to keep making content about it, and you get to keep making videos, and you guarantee there will never be peace there because you won't acknowledge it.
It's been like 30 consecutive minutes of Ethan just definitively mauling Hasan while he screams. I did not think it was going to end this way.
Trauma on both sides. Two things.
Dude, fucking 2 hours ago, Hasan's like, I could do this all day, and now he's just like, literally, you're fucking racist. Holy shit.
Always be true,
How much
Hasan.
content have you made about Donald Trump? How much content have you made about fucking Donald Trump?
How much content?
You literally defended his terrorist regime. What the fuck are you talking
Dude,
about?
he had a whole podcast where he talked about politics. You were on it.
And you
I think you guys probably talked about Trump a little bit.
Because you're an embarrassing figure.
You can't fathom.
Okay? Listen to me.
Yeah, dude, there's a little difference between like one of the largest fucking political, like left-leaning voices on social media in comparison to Funny Goofs and Gaff's podcast host, man.
Listen to me.
You can't fathom
It
that
is
somebody says
embarrassing
something
that you
wrong
try
and
to
come back
make
and
authority
corrects
into
it.
And all of the producers or all the people that are
Not to say that like Hasan's audience is directly responsible for the fucking Republicans winning the election, because I think that's delusional too. But I don't think it helps contributing when you're like a huge thought leader in the space and you're sitting there laughing hysterically as Kamala Harris is talking about rapes in Palestine.
you fucking talking points is not going
to
I did defend the
come
terrorists.
across as smart in this process. Please,
Hasan,
for your own mental sanity, stop trying to do this. You are basically brain breaking a shit ton of people into idiotic positions. You clearly don't care about people who have actually voted for Donald Trump, considering you're elite.
I don't think it mattered at all. No, I think it is your job as a left-leaning voice to strike down that thought and use your community in an effective way. Because again, there are these guys going on right after the election saying, what did we learn? The Democratic Party can't win. They need to earn our vote next time. It's like, bro, you can say that when you win the election. When you lose the election, you need more people to show up and vote. It's just fucking logic, okay? Like, you don't start becoming picky after you get decimated by the guy who literally said that he fucking, crooked Joe Biden fucking rigged the election to win the last one, okay? It is a national embarrassment to lose to somebody who made our country look like a national embarrassment. You don't get to be picky. You say we vote.
Just with people who have literally directly voted for Donald
Who's
Trump.
my allegiance?
Okay?
Who's my allegiance to?
What do you mean? You have fucking Trump supporters that you're friends with. Like Steiny in general. When I have a conversation with him, I'm actually directly fucking addressing some of the
Did you watch my interview with him? You
like
fucking dipshit. Our entire conversation was me arguing with him and telling him why Trump's bad and why transphobia is bad. You are insanely
You're going
incompetent.
out, you're playing poker with people who fucking voted
You
for
were
Donald
just on
Trump. You're
Nelson.
defending
You were just on
Asmongold.
Steiny's podcast, you hypocrite.
Is not
What
actually
the
Trump
fuck?
coded.
I spent
okay?
hours
You're
shitting
doing
on
all this
Steiny.
because
You-
they
you-
don't.
you're just a liar.
Asmongold has been a valuable figure shitting on me this entire time, and that's the only reason why you act like he's not that significant of a force. That's it.
When did I say that?
Dude, I love this. He like now Hasan, to engage with this criticism, has to like come out and say, hey, by the way, Asmongold's got a bigger content PNR than me.
You will take help from...
Holy shit, dude. Dude, he has to literally, total ego death man has to come out and admit there's a bigger streamer.
Anyone and everyone.
And this man is all written by Destiny, right?
You claim to care. You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude
like after years of there being a like zero conservative presence from larger streamers over on Twitch, Asmongold has been able to talk about Trump on his stream to like farm money for a while, and now all of a sudden it's like they act like this is like a fucking like it's an even environment over there.
Who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're hyping up that dude...
Yo!
And everyone...
Let's go,
this man is all written by Destiny, right?
You claim to care. You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. All right, I don't know if Ethan won the debate because I haven't seen any forensic evidence yet.
The reason why you're hyping up that
Ultimate
dude
rape
is
review?
because
I don't know
you don't give a fuck.
Dude, he looks psychotic too because it's completely unhinged, and everything Hasan has read about this read about the fucking show is wrong too. It's even funnier.
Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're hyping up that
Ultimate
dude
rape
is
review?
because
I don't know
you
what
don't
the
give a
fuck
fuck.
you're
All
even
you
talking
care about is petty drama. This is your...
Dude, we're so fucking up. I won the debate. I literally won the debate.
Only content. Stop doing petty drama content. Shut the fuck up about politics and get back to goofs and gaffs, and it will be fine. People will forget.
And dude, he literally gets buck broken in the conversation, and then Hasan turns around and he's like, listen, dude, let's be productive. Just start being funny again. Just start doing some old scale goofs and gaffs. Just just stop talking about the Israelis, dude. Just leave it alone, man. Just go back.
You have behaved in this...
He literally got fucked he literally got fucked so bad. He was sent back in time to the end of the iDubbbz video, and he's giving the speech he was too pussy to record.
Way. But you don't want to do that. It's become a fucking person.
Nuxtaku won. What is this, the Lolicon convention? Get the fuck out of my chat.
Agenda for you that people don't like you. It must be anti-Semitism. No, they don't like you because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you have to be babied by goddamn producers as a 40-year-old adult. That's the reason why people don't like it. That's
very
it.
good, very good. Now, why don't you watch Bad and Panona's videos about you?
Oh shit!
Because he's pro-Palestine, and I don't give a fuck about.
He was criticizing you.
This is like the Denims argument. I can't watch Keffels because there are conservatives I could be making fun of, even though she's fucking siphoning money from trans people for a lawsuit that's never coming.
Oh, you're such a coward.
And I don't care about the difference in methods that we have.
All right, very good. I'm out of my depth. I shouldn't talk about
the movement. And if you were pro-Palestine, I would never talk about you either. That's the real reason.
Ethan is literally 40 years old. Hell yeah, dude. And he just fucking mauled this toddler, dude. This emotional toddler.
Uh-oh. Can you please contend with the Avi Schleim quote that they left not because of Zionism, but because they were afraid?
Dude, come on. Enough. You have Avi Schleim on the show. Talk to him about it, okay?
Okay, sure,
Maybe it'll go down exactly like you thought.
Oh, dude. Wait, so he's gone through and he performed well against Sam Cedar. Now he's fucking talked to Hasan, and that went well as well. So now he's got to talk to Avi Schleim, who's going to be like the real fucking... He's like the real kingpin of the fucking... Okay. This is so ridiculous.
Sam,
you got to keep debating. Debate the next guy until you have a bad performance.
Cedar.
How did it go with Sam Cedar? I think if anything, Sam kind of embarrassed himself. I genuinely...
Fake laugh. Immediate fake laugh.
Do. I hate to say it because I like Sam.
Dude, a 40-year-old man who needs a fucking button when he has like a little oopsie moment.
Dude, you don't have a button. That's why you're so clippable. You're raging that people clip you. And it's because you don't have a button, because you say so much unfiltered, stupid shit.
Did I button?
He's actually the one who's talking about...
It's just jealousy.
I don't understand.
Did I button during that debate?
He lowered himself to talk to you man to man and tried to explain to you what was going on.
That's what you asked for. Why would you want to lower his status?
Private, Ethan.
Why did you lower his status?
Because I thought you could be convinced. I didn't realize you were this fucking drama obsessed.
What? Dude... Oh my god, he's just going out as pathetic looking as possible, like a wounded animal. I love this. pull up the clip I just sent you. So this is supposedly, if Smaggle sent me the right thing. What is this? Oh God, dude. Content Cop is... Wait, hold on. Creator Clash is now literally... Wait, it is now literally the Palestine show. Creator Clash is now literally the Palestine show. Hasan's told to pay. He announces he will likely raise money for Creator Clash and the associated charities by reacting to the content nuke with iDubbbz and other orbiters who will then hold his hand. Holy shit, dude. It's literally fucking... It's literally Palestine Clash.
Actual real question, what will it take for you to stop talking about Ethan? He apologizes. I mean, this is going to be... Well, as I said already, I will be reacting to the context nuke in real time alongside...
100 years of drama, 100 years of live streams, 100 years.
We're
never ending. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep fucking going, guys. We're gonna watch the content nuke a third time, okay? In fucking May!
And maybe some other people as well, live to fundraise for not just the Creator Clash in general, but the charity that they want to fundraise for.
Dude, he's gonna pull up a video of him supporting terrorism to promote a fucking charity event. What are you gonna do? You're gonna call it the fucking... Dude, it's the heel stream. Holy shit.
Doing that, and that will be most likely the last time I talk about it, unless he turns around.
This guy is gonna literally pull up terrorist propaganda and be like, based in the name of charity.
He tries to do fucking more Hasbara. Outside of that, it needs to reach a level of like Israel defense that I think is unconscionable for me to talk about it, which was my initial standard anyway. Actual real question, what will it take for you to stop talking about Ethan?
This is so fucking crazy, dude. This is so fucking crazy. Let's get through this. We're in the home fucking stretch right now. The last 20 minutes.
I'm obsessed. We had an argument about fucking South Africa apartheid. What's drama about that?
True.
What? You're fucking dude. Listen,
I can't hear what you said. What did you say?
It doesn't matter. Just remember, when it comes to criticism, I watch it.
Yes,
you ignore
Nelson
it.
Mandela.
It's so important.
Nelson Mandela was actually peaceful because you're going to clip chimp the fucking shit that Lonerbox told you.
Why
and
was
then you're
it?
going to say the violent things that
Hasan.
the violent things.
Dude, he just keeps name dropping all the people who like destroy his brain every single night. The people he sees when he's fucking falling asleep that fucking wake him up from whatever nightmare, dude, he was trying to showcase in the fucking intro to the Content Cop.
Fucking shit that Lonerbox told you.
Why
and
was
then you're
it?
going to say the violent things that
Hasan.
the violent things that the ANC did were in the Truth and Reconciliation Committee attributed to
Hasan, how many civilians died in 20 years in the ANC during the ANC's?
It was like 200, I think.
Less than 100.
1,000?
How many people did Hamas kill on one day? Nelson Mandela, which I'll read you a quote from his trial. I'll read you a quote.
Are you comparing the apartheid structure in South Africa to 76 years of colonial occupation?
Don't you do that all the time?
No, the numbers are
all
larger,
the time.
and the militancy has gotten far more radical as a direct consequence of Israel becoming far more radical. Because, as I told you, and you seemingly understood when we first had this conversation after October 7, that
Dude, there's just something about oppression that makes you rape civilian women. It's just, unfortunately, it's an inevitability.
Maintenance of an apartheid is an inherently violent endeavor, and as a matter of fact, the resistance to said apartheid is only going to get worse and worse as time moves on. This is precisely the reason why the first Intifada was fought with stones,
You're just bringing random shit up, bro.
and the second Intifada, in the aftermath of horrific acts of terror
Let me
against
read you.
Palestinians who were at a mosque praying.
I actually have facts. I have a historical quote. I'm not just grandstanding.
Remember, guys, Nick DeOrio is bad for hosting an Ultimate Rape review, okay? But the other thing is, like Hasan also condones... Okay, maybe this is... Hold on, I gotta reword this properly. All right, Nick's Ultimate Rape review show is actually, like, super bad. But remember, if you ever rape somebody, as long as they can't find the body, you never did it. So it's okay.
From his trial in 1960 said, and I quote, there were 4 forms of violence that were possible. One was sabotage, one was guerrilla warfare, one was terrorism, and then there was open revolution. We chose to adopt the first method as it exhausted it before taking any...
I would need more information to know if you've actually done it.
other decision. In light of our political background, the choice was a logical one. Sabotage did not involve loss of life.
He's going to launch ultimate forensic review to investigate every fucking rape allegation.
Offered the best hope for future race relations. Bitterness would be kept minimum. And if a policy bore fruit, democratic government could become a reality. This is what we felt at the time, and this is what we said in our manifesto. We have always sought to achieve liberation without bloodshed and civil clash. We hope, even at this late hour, that our first actions will awaken everyone to the realization that the disastrous situation which the nationalist policy is leading. We hope that we will bring the government and its supporters to their senses before it's too late, so that both the government and its policies can be changed before matters reach the desperate state of war.
Notice how the end part of that is getting ready for rebellion.
Did they?
I feel like
Dude, the voice crack there is intense. Holy
Notice
shit!
How the end part of that is getting ready for rebellion.
Dude, real voice just poked through there for a second.
I feel like with because the apartheid structure dissolved as a direct consequence of pressure campaigns and also militancy, which Nelson Mandela not once but twice.
Guys, I've been at this for fucking 9 hours. I see like fucking 7,000 people still here in the chat. Can we get a like on the stream? How many of you motherfuckers voted? We got 3,000 votes, bro. That's more likes. Let's hit the fucking like button.
Of having a sentence commuted, which he refused to do. They said,
on principle,
Nelson Mandela,
bro.
If you disavow
on
violence,
principle. He said, I will not remain in jail because a prisoner can't negotiate. A prisoner can't decide.
Yes, that was
he
the first
said
time.
no
And in both
times. He refused on principle. Less than 100 people died during the 20-year period. They never.
By the way, for every person who wrote no, that engagement also helps the stream. Thank you.
Anyone that attacked civilians, they were disavowed. The ANC repeatedly apologized and disavowed violence against civilians.
When did they do that?
Less than 100 civilians died.
When did they do
Hamas
that?
killed 1,000 civilians on one fucking day.
1,000 civilians?
Yeah.
The poor civilian Israeli soldiers that died in their military bases.
There was like, bro, you're so dumb. 300.
What do you think I'm so dumb?
Okay, how many civilians died? How many civilians died?
I believe the total number of casualties on October 7 was 1,200, with 800 being civilians, which is completely unacceptable.
My God,
Wait. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. I've been covering this for like months. I had no idea there were that many killed. Holy shit, dude. 1,200? What the fuck? I literally didn't know it was that many.
And by 100. I was off by 100. Oh my God, dude! I can't believe the historical inaccuracies.
Well, you just made a big. You're the one who's bringing up numbers here, Ethan. And yes, I do think it's important to recognize something here that you are seemingly failing to recognize. Nelson Mandela was thrown in prison because he went and trained with the FLN in Algeria. The reason why he stayed in fucking prison was because he refused to disavow violence. Yeah. Because he understood that as long as peaceful revolution is impossible,
I never said he's a pacifist.
Violent revolution is inevitable.
Yeah, and I never said he's a pacifist.
They did do.
You know what's funny?
In terms of the death and destruction on the apartheid structure, by the way,
Nelson
it is
Mandela
incomprehensible to compare that to Israel's violence against the Palestinians.
Yeah, good one. Bro, Nelson Mandela is not a fucking Zionist. He's not Israeli. He's not Israeli.
Was Nelson
what Israel has done to the Palestinians
is
far worse. And by the way, that's not my assessment. What Israel has done to the Palestinians for the past 76 years is infinitely worse.
Well, let's ask someone that lived through apartheid.
By the way, that is the assessment of Mandela. And for all the, for all of the moments that he was able to fucking see.
You think Mandela said what's happening is worse than what we went through? That's bullshit.
Bro, you can't compare this.
Why would we say that? That's on your lie.
Why would you say that? Because it's true, Ethan. Okay. That's why.
Is Nelson Mandela a Zionist?
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Are you going to say in 1999 he said Israel has a legal right to exist?
More than that.
He said more than that. Fucking clip chimp.
Remember that you called this guy.
Whoa, bro's got a clip,
dude. Not fit to be a dog catcher. That's what you said about Nelson Mandela.
Wait, what are you talking about? Whoa, you're jumping off like a million different points.
The right of Israel to exist as a state legally.
Yeah, he's not fit to be the local dog catcher. This is a good argument. That's why he brought up Nelson Mandela, because Hasan has to either amend or remove his statement.
We have stood quite openly and firmly.
No, I think this is totally fair game.
For the right of that state to exist within secured borders.
You disagree with that statement?
Froggy Fresh is in chat. What's going on? He said, I would rather date Hasan.
Does Israel has a right to exist? Not in the way that it currently does.
Within secure borders.
Ethan, hold on.
Howard.
Do you know what he says after that clip?
Yeah, that he also thinks that Palestinians also need to be acknowledged, which, by the way, is my fucking point.
No, not that.
Palestinian liberation and Israeli borders are two sides of the same coin.
Ethan, he didn't just say Palestinians also need to be acknowledged. He says that if peaceful means of coexistence is impossible, then violence is inevitable, Ethan. Why did you clip that out of the fucking clip chimp that you posted, Ethan?
Did you saying I clip chimp Nelson Mandela?
Yes, you literally did.
It's such a stupid sentence. Are you saying that I clip chipped Nelson Mandela?
You cut him out of context.
No, I think he's a Zionist. What do you mean? He's talking philosophically.
It's such a stupid fucking sentence. How did we get here, dude?
He's talking philosophically.
You think it's irrelevant? We're having a conversation about Nelson Mandela and whether or not he actually believes in violence. Whether or not he actually believes in violence. You have said time and time again that he was a peaceful dove. He's never actually done any violence whatsoever.
Didn't.
There are numerous instances.
Inevitability, a philosophical warning, is not an endorsement. He was speaking as a warning to them, which was apt.
Brother, that is insane.
What?
Nelson Mandela was literally on a terror watch list since 2008.
Who gives a fuck?
What do you mean who gives a fuck? You like to use the terrorism watch list when you're talking about the Houthis, or you like to use the terrorist watch list when you talk about Hezbollah.
I mean, I gave you
Hamas.
specific examples of why those organizations are bad.
Yeah, it's kind of different.
Who do you think Who do you think the philosophical point that he was making? The guy who was in prison for violent resistance, by the way, who trained
violent resistance? You mean sabotage?
Ready for rebellion, by the way.
Sabotaging government
that was a warning to? Do you think that was a warning to Palestinians, or do you think that was a warning to
the fact
Israel?
That you are
because
so
that
willing...
same Nelson Mandela has time and time again also repeated that no one is free until Palestine is free. That same Nelson Mandela that you're trying to fucking use in this situation has said that this is a united struggle, that Israel's actions against the Palestinians are abhorrent, that it is akin to what they have experienced in apartheid South Africa, if not worse. So the idea that you can make this comparison because you think it suits your fucking argument is so stupid. And the only way you can do that is by cutting it out of context.
No, I just explained why. Dude, I want Palestine to be free. But you know what? I don't think Hamas is furthering that goal. I think Hamas is counterproductive. They're making it worse. They're causing it to be inevitable. You refuse
why are they making it worse?
You refuse to criticize them, which is pathetic.
Because they're hijacking ships, raping civilians. I mean, like,
why are they making it worse?
I'm willing to come to terms with the cruel reality. Hamas.
Walk through it. Why are they making it worse?
We just talked about this for fucking
what was the fucking objective there on October 7th, genius?
Kidnapping, which by the way I don't even agree with, which is an international human rights violation. But kidnapping Israeli soldiers, Israeli civilians to
and what part about that was slaughtering fucking families in their homes?
Ethan,
their goal was to kill civilians.
That is a crazy clip, too.
Tactics. You know this already. We're not relitigating this over and over again.
I'm just saying, Hamas is
well, I do not believe they accomplished the scope of the goal they initially set out for.
The 17 months of fucking genocide, okay? What do you think? What do you think?
One day you're going to watch a video response I make. One day.
Probably not, when you apologize for all the fucking harm that you've done.
Apologize? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Listen.
I have the rest of the clip that you clipped him, by the way, if you want to hear his actual fucking full-fleshed opinions.
I'm not hiding from it. I literally acknowledge what he said. I don't care.
But so why?
This is the potential to be career-ending? I don't know, dude. It depends. He's not going to lose the audience he has. Those people are fucking zombies, bro. They are literally not like us.
Why did you say that he was actually, a peaceful resistance type of guy?
When the fuck did I say that, you liar?
You've said it on...
Nick, do you think that Ian is happy with his choice of new friends after this debate? Yeah, I think Ian's fucking crazy. I think iDubbbz is a fucking crazy person. I think he is super fucking satisfied. I think that everyone who thought that his wife is the reason why he's unhinged is probably like kicking themselves right now, realizing, no, this guy's always sucked.
Numerous occasions, as opposed to, you said that on numerous occasions before someone told you, no, actually, here's a better way to massage that narrative.
I said he uses violent means such as sabotage. He didn't kill civilians. That's what I said.
Will you stop talking if I show you numerous instances where you have said Nelson Mandela was peaceful?
I'm not going to, you get those together, okay?
I mean, you're going
to do great. You're going to do great. Yeah, go ahead.
Ethan, you literally said he was a pacifist.
I literally never said Nelson Mandela was a pacifist.
Ethan,
that is an insane lie.
You said it to Sam Cedar 2 days ago.
So you got to watch that back because you're, once again, a liar. You have no problem lying. You have no problem saying that I work with...
Did he say that? This is such a weird argument. Did he say that Nelson Mandela was a pacifist? Does anybody know?
ADL without any evidence. You fucking have no problem discrediting...
He never said that to Sam? Like, he seems so confident.
Jewish.
Is he just getting fed stuff that he just is assuming is true? He did not.
Nelson
Mandela. I don't remember. I watched most of that debate, but there are parts that I missed.
Is a pacifist.
Okay, well, prove it.
And the full quote, by the way, of Nelson Mandela is from when he visited Gaza in 1999 that I was referring to. Choose peace rather than confrontation, except in cases where we cannot move forward. Then, if the only alternative is violence, we will use violence. Yeah. Does that sound like a pacifist to you?
I meant that he didn't kill civilians. His approach is vastly different than what Hamas is doing.
Do you think Nelson Mandela would like what the Houthis are doing?
I don't know. Let's fucking dig him out of his grave and ask him.
That's kind of weird because, I mean, you said he was doing peaceful means
of resistance. Do I think Nelson
like
Mandela would be in favor of kidnapping 10 civilians? No, of course not.
Yes, he would. 100%.
All right. Well, while you're busy putting words in a dead man's
100%
mouth.
100% he would. What are you talking about? Nelson Mandela bombed the fucking church and shit. What are you talking about? Not Nelson Mandela directly in prison, but
fuck with
what? I'm learning so much shit today about Nelson Mandela, dude. That guy apparently was fucking
civilians, bro.
What the
That was
fuck?
his thing. He wanted to be as peaceful as possible because he knew that if he killed and targeted civilians, it would make reunification impossible.
You're right.
That's
Israel's doing a genocide because Palestinians are not resisting
Less than
in the
100
appropriate ways.
civilians died in 20-year period. I mean, what do you want more than that?
Okay, here.
Okay. But I mean, being held accountable by the party that they're presumably
This is the one singular mention of Nelson Mandela
doing the violence on behalf. Like,
well, you're saying the entire ANC was held accountable?
No, it's saying Nelson Mandela's party, if someone killed a civilian, they would hold them accountable. They would charge them. They would disavow their actions.
The ANC did?
Yes.
Well, the IRA was bombing places in England and throughout Ireland. I mean,
so it sounds like he's talking about civilians. It sounds like Ethan's right. By the way, somebody told me Sam Cedar is the guy from Bob's Burgers who's like the health inspector, and that has completely ruined Sam Cedar for me.
Hamas killed 1,000 or 900. So sorry.
800. But
I am so 800. You're right. You know what? That's better.
It's seemingly
That's
you're
better.
Yeah, Hasan. I thought Hasan watched it on stream though. I can't even say that he didn't watch the debate.
Bringing up numbers. Now, what you again fail to recognize is, of course, the length, and not only that, but also the resistance against apartheid South Africa included military resistance on top of that. But that's not even my point here. Okay.
Huh?
My point is that the apartheid in South Africa and the resistance against it was a far shorter period with far less casualties on the South African side as opposed to Israel's complete ethnic cleansing campaign that is that has started now, but even before its ethnic cleansing campaign.
Then don't compare Hamas to Nelson Mandela.
Because the situation is far worse, Ethan.
Then why
because
compare?
Israel has killed every Nelson Mandela. Israel would have probably killed Nelson Mandela if they had the opportunity to do so.
I'm sure they would have done everything bad that's ever happened in the world.
Wait, do you know why I said that? No, don't look at your laptop. Do you know why I said that?
Let me guess. I don't. Oh, tell me.
No, go ahead. Just throw up a guess.
All right, listen. It's 5 o'clock. I'm not doing this. Okay.
You
can
don't
tell me or you cannot.
Okay.
You want to? I'll stand here if you want to tell me, but I'm not going to sit here and play rhetorical games.
Israel was aligned with South Africa, the apartheid government.
Yeah, I know. They made nuclear bombs with them. It's horrible.
Yeah.
What's that have to do with anything? Fuckhead. Yeah. When did I defend that?
Well, they're both apartheids, so.
Yeah. And when did I deny that? All right, listen. It's 5 o'clock.
Know.
Like I said, I have a family to go to. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I know that you have a fucking cool ass race car bed to sleep in. And I hope you enjoy that. And
okay, man. Thank you. Have a good one. I hope this was productive. Dan, he needs you more than you need him.
Oh my God, dude. Making the play for Dan. What a pathetic little rodent.
Stop babying this man.
Holy shit. I'm so glad this is over.
And please, he needs you more than you need him.
The second one is going to go crazy.
Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on. Okay. All right.
Now, Dan, start the debate with Hasan. Go another 6 hours.
You want to target the crew more?
Oh, good fucking play.
You want to drum up
These were my coworkers. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the crew.
Hey,
they are what makes the
called
show
AB
great.
a house slave.
Ooh.
What?
Bad Empanada called AB a house slave.
Yeah, he's wrong. What the fuck do you want?
Okay, well, you watch his videos a lot.
Why are you bringing up Bad Empanada? Do you think I agree with everything he says? No, of course not.
You endorse him.
Yo, fucking get him, bro.
We gotta go. You promote him all the time. That's a fact.
Jay got him here hard, dude. Dude, literally all Hasan had to do is hang up and he misses this whole part. No, dude, that was a slimy move and he's getting mauled for
I agree with that. I think are very well thought out.
Right,
I don't endorse
stop being a coward and watch some fair criticism.
Overall.
Please stop being a coward and just watch some criticism. It will prove.
Yeah.
Dude, Mouthy Buddha's got some good editing.
You are not afraid.
This was pretty good. This was pretty productive. You know, having this conversation, having this back and forth. Don't you think?
I actually do. I think you exposed yourself.
Dude, Mouthy Buddha's a world-class editor. He just has some crazy fucking stuff, dude.
Deeply a few times here, and I think we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how this pans out.
Yeah.
But I do think it was productive to show just kind of the blatant, overt, anti-Semitism.
Maybe I will watch the context.
Snark clipped it. Please clip me saying that. It literally just proves your own hypocrisy.
Puke.
Yes, please, and then we can talk about it.
Maybe I will watch context puke live, as a matter of fact,
please
not in a cowardly way. I like that. This is what it's come to, where having a face-to-face conversation is less.
I love the terminally online aspect of it, of a fucking Zoom call being a face-to-face conversation.
Somehow less fucking is more cowardly than like actually watching a YouTube video that you made.
It is
no, dude. What's cowardly is you fucking constantly crying and refusing to actually look for context and putting together
immediately after he just started scrolling snark. Of course he did. He's having his fucking post Ethan Klein safe haven.
Together putting together shit that you saw.
Jesus Christ, you guys are hitting all the goals. Thank you guys so much.
Subreddits to be like, this
Please
is my argument.
just watch
I'm
it
destroying him.
Watch it and tear it up and show how out of context it was. I'd love that.
Don't worry. Maybe I'll actually do that to fundraise for the charities that you are actively targeting by trying to undermine and celebrate with Creator Clash 3.
Oh my god,
which is,
dude.
You know,
I don't know if you know this, but the last year they lost.
You want to go? Yeah, you want to get in bed with this charity asshole? Why don't you go do some research, you fucking freak?
Mine and celebrate with Creator Clash 3, which is.
I don't know if you know this, but the last year they lost $250,000 to be charitable.
He has no ethics or morals. He will tie himself to a charity that lost money just to own Ethan. It's crazy how fucking evil these people are.
Have to give money to charity.
You fucking hate everybody that has even lightly fucking criticized you. Or
yeah, dude, that's totally the reason. There's no other logical explanation for why people are mad at Creator Clash.
Are you surprised that I didn't like?
What are you mad that we have too many usable points because these guys fucked up charity? What a shame!
Everybody that has even lightly fucking criticized you or stayed out of.
Are you surprised that I didn't like Ian?
By the way, remember, Anissa Jomha is on vacation this week. This is the ideal week to ask for those refunds you need.
This video?
What? No, dude.
Dude, if you want to own me, listen, Hasan. If you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's fantastic.
You're gloating at a fucking charity event is actually like you're trying to undermine a charity.
She's baking cookies, dude.
You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
God, it's so gross, man.
I mean, what happened last year? How much money did they make? Did they do charity last year?
I don't know.
They lost $250,000.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, it's interesting. How'd you miss that, buddy? I thought you were at the event. Didn't iDubbbz talk about it at some point?
$1,000.
You didn't know how much money they lost? Why? How much money went to those kids with cancer? You know, while you were sitting there, walking on the red carpet, hanging out with your friends who were put up in a hotel, watching the funny comedian, having some laughs. You just got to remember, you were doing it with the cancer kids' money. They paid for it. Yes, your Florida vacation was paid for by kids with cancer.
Will you
kids with disabilities, fucking horses, AIDS patients, fucking ALS, ASL, fucking mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, dude. Holy fuck, they paid for your vacation.
Debate me again, Ethan, if you keep chirping in the future?
Yeah, of course. Perfect. But if you, I think it would be good if you watch the content puke. Context puke, and then we can discuss it.
Maybe I'll do that to fundraise for Creator Clash.
Dude, the kids who died from then to now would have loved to see that comedian.
Yes, I think it's awesome. If you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, maybe you should do that too. You know, donate some pro-Palestinian charities. I'll feel so fucking owned.
Let's own each other and donate to charity.
All right.
I know you guys I know you guys hate each other, but the views were crazy.
It was? I never looked.
Saying, think about it.
What was the views at? I never looked.
They're pretty good on both ends. Like 100K.
Whose was higher?
Don't ask that question.
Damn!
Hasan's was higher?
Hasan's was higher. Yeah. Not by much, but it was higher.
That's not good. We got to do something.
I mean, I had 120,000. I don't know what you guys had over there. I wasn't looking, but
we got up to about 100K. So,
well, we're gonna have to do some. These people are clearly have some kind of brain disease, and we need to do something about it.
No, for sure, Ethan. Please keep up the energy as though you feel that there is a genocide going on, because your output is what matters here, and that is what I was trying to get across.
Yeah, dude. If Ethan does one Save Palestine stream, so many children will have homes overnight.
You and get across to your audience. If you think that
I acknowledge,
if Ethan starts watching Bad Empanada, I literally think the conflict would end. Hila Klein, the anchor being, needs to watch Bad Empanada live on stream, and they'll put down their guns.
I acknowledge that I could talk about it more, and I should make more of an effort to talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Instead of going after,
and you should try not to be a fucking raging anti-Semite for a day.
What?
If you can try not to be a raging anti-Semite for a day, then we can shake hands.
Ethan, I don't think you actually believe that I'm anti-Semitic. I think you're hysterical. You should watch
back. If I didn't before, I've left this conversation firmly planted in my shoes.
Part of this interview.
What?
You should watch back the first part of this interview. That is.
I don't think that makes you look good.
Okay.
I do.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see.
But I think the last part makes him look better. I think that the last hour has just been fucking carnage.
Dude. Unfortunately, I think your people are going to think it makes you look good, and then everybody else is going to think that might look good. Like, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day,
I'm sure.
It's not a swastika. It's just the swastika sword. It's not a swastika. It's just the sword that I called the swastika sword. Got it. All right. Have a good night, Hasan.
Oh, all right.
I gotta go. All
right, you too, buddy.
You take care, bud.
All right.
Old friends together at last.
We did it.
Bye, Hasan. Give Kaya our love. Give Kaya our love.
It took fucking 8 hours. Probably. I don't know how long we did in the detour. We had the little detour of the the content deputy that dropped midstream.
Yeah, we all still love Kaya.
Oh my god, what a fucking train wreck. I was hoping that I shouldn't have hoped that he would have been more open to listening, but I guess that's what it was meant to be.
Idiot, what idiot?
I'm so tired.
How long was that going on for?
4 hours. We're going on 5 hours here.
Oh, thank you for the 10 gifted. Wow.
Was I owned?
Was I owned?
I need to process everything that just happened. My head's spinning.
Another fucking fever dream.
I was starting to lose, like, at the end tail of that. It's like, dude, I can't do it.
I could tell you were fading a little bit.
I think I got him. Honestly, I think I got him pretty good. The way that he was, like, denying obvious, blatant shit. And being like, no, that's not. No, you're insane. You're hallucinating it. It's like, bro, that's crazy talk. I also liked how he, like, whatever. People will analyze this.
Yeah. I'd say both sides got the clips they wanted. That's the end.
That's kind of the thing, right? It's like anything. Both sides declare victory, and nothing really changes.
Dude, the React streamers won. The viewers won. I think tentatively, I do think that Ethan won that debate.
So, what can you do?
I would need the politics stuff fact checked. I would need to check in a boner box stream.
Just keep doing it because the views are great, right?
97% of people in my chat say that Ethan won. 3% voted for Hasan, but I mean, I kind of expect that.
Hasan's got to eat.
I'm just saying.
Only tentatively. I think the drama-related stuff he absolutely won in. I just don't know enough about the politics stuff. I mean, the chat's telling me it's 100%, but I can't take that for fucking... I would need to do some actual research to engage with some of that.
He's got to pay. He's got to pay for that chicken and someone to make it for him too.
It sounded really good when he said it.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. Thank you to the awesome, loyal, genius, caring 100,000 that watched on our stream, not Hasan's. So important. And I appreciate. I don't know if that was what y'all wanted, but it is.
That was what I wanted. I got what I wanted. Holy fuck. This is sleep ASMR for adults who had parents who fought when they were kids. This was the Super Bowl for chronically online people. I don't take offense to that because you're probably right. I detected some tension under the surface here. I can't believe we got a Leftovers reunion. This is literally Leftovers. They just did one more episode of Leftovers. This is like if the Baited podcast filmed their last episode. Holy shit, dude. These men kissed at one point in their lives. No bathroom break for Ethan. No food consumption for Hasan for 5 hours. Dude, holy fuck. I literally got home. I haven't eaten anything yet today. And it's 10 o'clock at night, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing right now, bro? I literally strolled into my house, I jumped in the shower, fired up a live stream, and it's 10 o'clock at night. Oh, God, I'm starving. What the fuck, dude? Chances of Mr. Oreo going on H3. I mean, I don't think it makes sense to do that. I don't think that makes sense for them.